In a world crying out for a top 10 show, John Rocha and Matt Knost are here to bring you the top 10. Brought to you by the Schmoes Know. Take it away, boys. Welcome, everybody, to this week's edition of the Top 10 Show. I've got some champagne gummy bears in my mouth because we're doing this late at night and need a little bit of energy. I feel good. Hi, I'm John Rocha.
Hi, I'm Matt Knost. I think last week's show, you couldn't do the intro. This week, coming in, don't even give a fuck.
I know, I'm sorry. No, I love the fans. I'm sorry. I'm just like, doing the show, I have to do it after work. I've been so busy at work, and then throw this in. And I know you've been busy too, Matt. So it's like, it's finding the time, and I'm just trying to shove my life into all these pockets of time that I have, and then also have time to maybe sleep and maybe do work. Oh, by the way, been working out. Been really enjoying my spin bike, son.
There you go.
Yeah, I feel good. I may not have lost a lot of weight, maybe a pound or two, but I feel good.
You can't do that yet.
Right.
You're not even anywhere near the stage of, okay, what are my actual gains here?
Exactly.
Nah, because you start doing that, you're going to get discouraged because you'll lose, like, if you truly were overweight, a bunch of water weight right off the top.
Right. But that doesn't mean...
Then it'll plateau, and you'll be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I was just crushing pounds.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, you just got to let it go for a while.
But the spin bike is great. My endurance is back up, so I'll be on the court real soon. So
if it doesn't stop raining.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's been insane here in California. It's been raining randomly this whole week, like every other day, because it's supposed to rain Saturday as well.
Yeah, I play on Saturdays. It rained last Saturday. It's supposed to rain this. Actually, last Saturday, everybody just assumed it was, but apparently the court was dry. But only like 6 guys showed up.
Did you play?
Nope.
Oh, okay. You were like, fuck it, I'm not twisting.
By the time guys got out there and took a picture of the court and said, it looks good, I'm like, I'm 45 minutes away.
I'm going on with my day, yeah.
Yeah, and there's no assurance that everybody's going to show up, so I don't want to show up and there's 6 guys.
Fair.
It's just like, oh, fuck that.
Yeah.
Now I just got to sit around and do, play threes? That's not as fun.
Yeah, but you got to work out. You got to work out in. That's good.
It's not the same.
I know.
Apparently they went 2-on-2 full court.
What?
Just to get the cardio.
Oh, I guess.
And played for like, I don't know how long, but they're just like, we played a ton.
Yeah.
It was nonstop running, so it was good. And you're like, all right.
Yeah. Well, the spin bike is, man, it's been great. I started at 20 minutes, and I was doing it every other day. And then I'm up to 45-minute workouts, which are these great things on YouTube. And they go, and if you pay for the YouTube Red, right, you don't get the commercials. So you just go and you can just work out, and it goes right through and they go through the intervals. And the bike is fucking great. And I'm starting to feel like I feel little pieces of my muscle coming back. And I'm like, oh, this is nice. This is nice. So I'm enjoying it. So I just wanted to update the fans. People who give a shit that I've been kind of feeling a little bit better working out, so it's nice. And I intend to keep going, and I've made some adjustments in my eating habits, so piece by piece.
Well, you'll be at the point I'm at now. I missed last week, and all because rain the one day I normally play. Right. All this week, I have felt like I am 75 pounds heavier and just like this tubby, fat...
Which is insane.
All week.
Which is insane.
Like right now, it's why I chose literally this shirt and the overshirt. Because it's like, they're kind of baggy-ish and just let my fat ass kind of breathe.
That drives me insane when I see skinny guys like you talking about how fat you are. Look, it drives me insane. It's all relative.
I'm
I know
a
it's all
fat guy, so I got body dysmorphia just like the next fat guy.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what I look, because I used to have a six-pack. Once I lost all the weight, I was working out nonstop, and now I just compare myself to that and be like, oh, you look at you.
What happened?
You doughy. It's a disgusting slob.
Ellis is the same way, Ellis. That's why he posts all those videos of himself working out. I'm like, oh, this is interesting, man. You want people to know.
Yeah.
People to know you're on it.
Plus, you got to work harder now.
Yeah.
Because you were fat earlier. It's so easy to gain weight.
It really is, dude.
Yeah.
You got to be careful.
It's the worst.
What else is going on in your world, man? What's been happening?
Nothing much.
Yeah? Because you always have these projects dancing around. So, yeah.
That stuff aside, so this week, my week got screwed.
Okay.
Because I told you, I was like, hey, can you do me this one favor? Because I don't know if I have the time this week. And
that's
like,
right.
Yeah, no problem. Like, whatever that was, 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago or something, I broke my phone, so I had to replace it, and I lost all my contacts and all that jazz. I mean, it was updated from 2 years ago on my computer.
Right.
So I had most of that, but I lost a bunch of different stuff, but one of which was my calendar. And
Oh, shit.
I get a text from my sister a couple days ago saying, "Hey, which days are you hanging out with Grandma this weekend?" And I've been so busy, I utterly forgot that the trip was happening and the date, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
You forgot Grandma was coming, huh?
When she comes into Southern California, she follows Vanderbilt baseball around. Is like that's what she does.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So they come out to either L.A., San Diego. They come out to the West Coast every year.
Wow.
But they're pretty much within driving distance for me. So they're here in town this time. So they're playing
Right.
UCLA, USC, and the Dodger Stadium. And I'm going to 2 of the games with it's her and my aunt.
Right.
And that's all that could show up. Other times, like uncle or two have come and stuff like that. And they just make a little trip out of it. Wow. So, but out of nowhere, I was like, oh shit.
Right.
I got to make I got to carve out 2 full days in my schedule.
Yeah.
Shit.
So no basketball those days.
I got no time. So now it was already a compressed week.
Yeah.
I just lost a weekday. Well, at least half a weekday because I
Right.
got to be at UCLA by a specific time.
Wow.
To meet them. It's just like, oh, man. Oh, great.
I think this is awesome. Well, it happens. That's the way life is sometimes, It like comes out of nowhere, and they're like, "Oh, how am I going to make this all work?" But at least you're seeing family. I think it's awesome what your grandmother. That's fucking sure. Like, I know that people in the South do that. People in the South like to travel, like because they hit that point where they can retire or they got enough money to chill out, and they follow a team like all across the country.
Cheap entertainment.
Yeah, and also they it's a great way to travel the country as well, an excuse if nothing else, And you go into smaller towns, especially if you're on a college baseball team. You're probably going into smaller towns, college towns, which are more chill.
Yeah, but it's the
enjoying
same
yourself.
ones over and over again, except for the how many ever handful of games are outside of your normal schedule,
Right.
whatever your
Well, there's
division
always
is.
those extra ones. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but at the same time, it's like
Yeah.
it's super simple for her to do. She knows the coach
Right.
and all that stuff just because she'll come so much. They brought her flowers, I think, on 2 separate occasions as part
Wow.
of when they were honoring like the mothers of some of the players, the seniors. She's gotten flowers before along with them. All the parents know her. So every year when I show up, there's the parents that their kids have been there and then the new ones.
Right.
And my grandma's just part of like that. No, she's just kind of there for the whole everybody.
Yeah.
She's like, I think every old person is one of 2 things by the time you get to that age. You are either just this kind-hearted, sweet, gentle soul,
Yeah.
or you are pissed off at the world because for whatever reason,
Yep.
you're just pissed off at the world.
Yeah, cantankerous son of a bitch.
Yeah, it's very rare for me to see someone in their age bracket that is just without those 2 polar extremes on some level.
That was my grandmother. My mother's grandmother was one of the sweetest, nicest, most generous people you'll ever meet. My dad's grandma, one of the most vicious, my grandma, right, from my father's side, one of the most vicious, judgmental, narcissistic, needy, angry type of grandmas you could ever have. Like she was so. She thought she ruled the fucking roost so bad that on Christmases that we used to all get together as as Latino families, all get together on Christmas, and exchange gifts with the cousins. And, of course, the parents buy the gifts for everybody else, blah, blah, blah. She would go and train. She would find out what the presents were that everybody was getting of the kids. And then whatever kids she was feeling a connection to that year, she would move the nameplates from the gifts to the best gifts that she thought these kids deserved.
Wow, they had earned.
What a fucking bitch. Like, I hated her. She drove my father crazy with her shit. And it was just like when that was the year that we stopped doing. Like I was 15.
I was going to say, eventually you went. We're watching The Godfather, all of it. this year.
All of it. And Scarlet.
No.
Yeah. When I was 15, I caught her. When I was 15,
kind of makes sense. Your dad's loved The Godfather then, because it sounds like your mom was the kingpin of the family.
Yeah.
And he grew up and he understands that world.
Yeah.
A hierarchy of I'm a chief. You got to do what I say.
Exactly. Well, I caught her when I was 15. I caught her switching the gifts. Caught her switching the names on the gifts, and I went up to her. I was like, "What are you doing?"
Now, do you think? I'm just going to float this as an idea.
Sure.
She was doing that because the Sandinista connection we brought up on Blunderdome, that there was some misalignment in the identities and whatnot, and she got confused herself. She's like, "Oh shit, no, that's right. That's John."
There are no South American Sandinistas. I just want to say that's clear. That's fucking Central
Pockets
America.
of your history, your personal history, that are just baffling to me as an American citizen.
It's just as baffling to me. Trust me. Trust me. I don't understand why I don't fit into these pockets. Because I would be much more cooler. I bet I'd have more followers if I fit into these pockets, but I just don't. There's a Goonies pocket I'm missing. There's a Lord of the Rings pocket I'm missing. There's a fucking, you
can't like everything.
video game. I know. I can't.
You
I
can't.
can't. I
You
like to
can't.
be my own person, man.
Exactly. Eventually, your taste wins out, no matter what anyone says, and it's just you're not going to change my mind.
And trust me, I've had those moments with myself where I've been like, why don't you just lie and say you liked it, and just like find five things you can say about it consistently over and over again, and you'll fool people that you like the fucking thing, so that everyone will just accept you. And I'm like, no, because that's not me.
No, because now you have to remember a lie.
Yeah.
And it's just easier to remember the truth.
Right.
The older I get, the more that axiom rings true of just like lying's too difficult. When I was younger, I can remember every lie that I told.
Yeah.
I was good at it because I did it so infrequently. It was just like, okay, boom, 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 and I'd store it away. It was no problem. As you get older, just like my brain is too full and too tired.
That's
and
what I'm saying.
I can't deal with all of it.
Yeah.
So it's just easier to go, you know what? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Everything that you love about it sparks nothing in me. It's just, I'm dead. I'm dead. It sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks. I realize it's a part of who you are on some level.
Yeah, true.
Didn't resonate for me. And I love it. Now people are projecting onto me what they think that is.
Oh.
Just like they are on you of whatever you're ambiguous.
Sure. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's been happening. I don't know if there's anything else that's been happening. Did you see anything new? Did you go see anything new?
I saw Game Night.
Is it good? I'm going Sunday night. You saw the jokes coming.
I don't want to ruin it for anybody that hasn't seen it.
All right. A lot of people liked it. It's getting good reviews.
Okay.
So if you didn't like it, that's understandable. You're a comedian. You see these jokes coming sometimes.
I don't think they're jokes.
Okay. Dude, I tried watching The House last night on HBO at like 11 o'clock at night.
The House?
The Amy Poehler one with Will Ferrell. All their friends are in that fucking movie. Like, you watch that movie, you're like, it's all just their friends.
Sure.
It
Makes
is
perfect
insane.
sense.
Andrea Savage is in that thing. The guy who played Steve Carell's boss in The Office is in that thing. The dude from
Jan is first is turned into his girlfriend.
the other guy.
Okay.
Yeah, Steve, whatever his name was. I think with the glasses, the guy with the glasses, Tom, or I forget what his name was. But the guy with the glasses, he would always call and leave those voicemail messages for, like, Carell would leave voicemail messages, and he'd have to come down to the office and correct stuff all the time.
Who, Ryan? My wife and I are actually watching it right now. We're on season 4.
Ryan is BJ Novak.
Yeah.
Right,
He's the one that leaves, and he has to come back and like check in on.
Right. No, this is the older guy who works at corporate, and he would every once in a while would come, and he's like he's got like kind of a short haircut, and he's got a lantern jaw, and he's got a strong chin, and he's got glasses. He wears glasses. I forget what the character's name is, but he'd always like check in on Carell's character and stuff in the office. Anyway, he's in there. The black dude from Reno 911 is in there.
Yeah.
Jesus, there's just a bunch of character actors. And of course, Rafi from The League, he's in there. So there's a bunch of people, and I just was like, that's
Jason
what it is.
Mantzoukas?
Mantzoukas, yeah. This is just scenes with your friends.
It is.
And that nothing connects, and it's ridiculous and completely stupid. And I was very disappointed, man.
I don't want to spill the beans, so enjoy, and we can talk about it after you see it.
All right.
So,
all right. Did you enjoy the Oscars?
I will say this much. My wife felt the exact same that I did walking in.
Uh-oh.
I can tell you what it is afterwards.
Okay.
Obviously not, something that's...
All right. Did you like the Oscars? Did you watch the Oscars at all?
Did not watch the Oscars at all.
Not your jam. Right.
Some years. I don't know. I was busy that night, and it just didn't feel... I'd check in online, see who's winning. But it was also, you knew.
Yeah.
This year, there was really no uncertainty. Just like, they're going to win, they're going to win, they're going to win, they're going to win. This is going to win for that. And then some of the technicals I didn't know, but across the board. Animation, I knew.
Yeah.
The acting.
We did a video here at Collider about... Because the ratings were down.
They're down for everything.
It's the lowest rated Oscar broadcast ever. So, we were thinking, is it because they don't have comic book movies? They didn't honor comic book movies or nominate any of them. Is it could, and that's a thing I hadn't thought of, Matt, and that's interesting you bring that up. I hadn't thought that most of the people who would watch already sensed who was going to win. So, like, why am I going to watch it?
Yeah.
Same people. I know the people who are going to win. Same people winning at other award shows.
I think it's that coupled with the fact that now you can watch whatever you want whenever you want.
Yeah.
And event television only really it still works, but it's not as effective.
It's only for
as it used
sports,
to be.
man. I think it's really only for sports.
Only for sports.
Yeah.
Because you can find it the year. And I also think that given the movies that were nominated, none of them were huge, like massive blockbusters.
Yeah. None of them. I think 8 out of the 9 did not break 100 million.
Yeah. So they all have small audiences, and it's not like it's also mega wattage stars.
Right. Right.
So it's all people that are younger or have never won before, like an Oldman, who's a great actor,
Yep.
but it's not like he's, Tom Hanks.
Right.
It's nothing against him, just Tom Hanks gets to headline movies and win awards, and this country decided long ago that dude is, Jimmy Stewart for this generation.
He really is.
He is. Mm-hmm. He is.
No doubt.
I'm glad to have had him.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that in the past tense. I'm just saying throughout my life, I'm glad to have had him, as opposed to not, because he's brought me countless amount of joy.
Yeah, I was watching an old SNL Jeopardy.
He's great on those.
And he showed up and he's playing some. Tom Hanks is an idiot, and he can't he keeps hitting the pencil instead of the buzzer.
Yeah,
he thinks the pencil's the buzzer, and then he wraps himself in plastic. And he can't breathe. It's so, but and this guy's in his 50s when he's or late 40s, and you're just like, you respect that he's still willing to be funny.
Did you see the Black Jeopardy that he did? Where he
my
played the teabagger?
That
was so good.
That sketch was brilliant.
The fact that some of it is commonality that all people can identify with.
Yeah.
Like what is upsetting any group of individuals, you can identify with. It's what they tried, like the means to justify the ends and the ultimate outcome they're actually pushing for.
Yeah.
But the base emotion, you're like, this dude is making a lot of sense. And to watch the commonality, but that you can go back. Like, do you remember the game show they did where he's Persian or something?
Yes. It's got Sonny Guts.
Sonny Guts. Just as good. It's just he's playing this stupid character. Tom Hanks is great.
He is brilliant, man.
I know.
Some people forget. Before he was winning Oscars, that fucker was making people laugh, man. Like Michael Keaton.
He's got range.
Yeah, he does.
He just the only thing he probably doesn't have is the Liam Neeson type action at this stage. You know what I mean?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Perdition was probably the closest he'll ever come to that. Road to Perdition.
And it's not the same as any of the others. That's more a character piece.
Yeah. I would like to see him do some comedies, though. Some more comedies at an older age now. I would love to see him do something, but he doesn't need to. He's the man.
He was good in The Post.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So he doesn't need to. All right.
Yeah, so this week,
yes,
you guys are probably looking at the topic going, why did you choose 90s action?
Yeah.
And the reason is because, we were going to do something with Tomb Raider, but we had to change the topic at the last minute. Also, we had a guest idea.
We did.
And we're going to do that guest idea another time. It's just the schedule didn't work out.
And it sucks it didn't work out.
It was close.
This was going to be an incredible episode.
We had a fun one lined up for you guys.
We did.
Which we will do again.
Yes.
We just have to get the schedule right next time.
Yeah.
It's, trying to coordinate a few different people's schedule amongst all of us. It's just sometimes it's a little too difficult and just easier for us to bang it out.
Yeah. One of them, was in jail. The work release program didn't let him out to do it. So
there you go. Sure. So anyway, 90s action because Tomb Raider came out in 96, I think it was.
It's a video game.
Yeah, the video game.
Yeah.
So we're like, you know what? That's just as good an excuse as any other to choose a topic. So we chose 90 action.
90s action movies.
Because eventually they made an action movie out of this.
Yeah.
And we're like, we're going to go back to the decade where the source material originated.
Yeah.
Really honor Tomb Raider. And the fact that it's one of the few video games that ever captivated you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is something that when you suggested it, I got super excited. And I said, when you suggested it, I was like, 90s act, that's brilliant. Because something we had, and I went through all our repertoire to make sure we hadn't done it. And we hadn't done it. So I was like, this is great. This is going to be a lot of fun. And then I started making the list, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I have to cut some really great films that I don't want to cut, but I got to cut them. And this is maybe one of the hardest lists, top 10 hardest lists I've ever had to come up with on the Top 10 show.
It's the beauty of this one is because
you can't go wrong.
You can't, and also because an action movie is never going to win an Oscar.
Yeah,
this is purely. I'm sorry, this is my taste.
Yes,
within this.
Yeah,
I am not faulting because I've got a side list. The people that are going to be screaming for whatever you don't have and whatever I don't have. Yeah. You're not wrong. This is all basically like, what type of fun are you looking for? Because 90s action and any action when you do it as a decade. It's a lot of shoot 'em, blow 'em up.
Yeah.
Sometimes the character's funnier, sometimes they're grittier, but it's meant to entertain.
Yes.
It's just unplug, tune out, and enjoy yourself for 90 to 2 hours.
And it's kind of weird to go back and watch 90s action movies, too, because it's a lot of hazy camera work, a lot of soft lighting.
Yeah, there's stylistic choices.
Some interesting stylistic choices, man.
Well, I mean,
very music video type vibes, yeah.
Yeah, but I think it was evolving. The genre within itself was evolving.
Yeah.
Because it had gotten past its even more rudimentary phase from the 80s. You know what I mean? At this point, it's like a preteen.
Yeah.
So now it's in its 30s. It's doing, you make a more solid action movie. Like
You can.
Eventually, you could sell me on there's an action movie that could win an Oscar.
Oh, absolutely.
Just like a pure, like a Mad Max Fury Road type of...
I really believe that Rogue Nation should have been nominated for an Oscar. I thought that film had a heavy right to be a Best Picture. That's that reminds me what we talked about earlier, what we just talked about a few minutes ago about why the audiences might be down. That's another thing. They don't nominate action movies for Best Pictures most of the time anymore.
I don't think any of them aspire past what they are.
Like Raiders was maybe one of the rare ones that's ever been nominated for a Best Picture, I think. And so you just wonder like where it's going to be.
You know what's weird, though? Do you consider that an action film? It is.
It's an action film.
By definition, but I think of it as its own thing. You know what I mean?
Like undefinable?
No. Just in that, like, of course it's an action film, but because it's such a quintessential movie to me, that it's just like it transcends the limitations of names.
Oh, well, that's looking at it with 2018 eyes. But when it first came out in 81, it wasn't.
Oh, yeah, it was
action
on
film.
the release and whatnot. It was meant to do this, but now it's like it's attained a different status in my head.
Yeah.
There's nothing that good on my list. Actually, there's a couple that are close.
I feel like there's a couple on my list.
Yeah, there's a couple that are close. They mess with Indy, though. I mean, come on.
Yeah. I know, you're right.
That's at least for me and for us in our generation. That's a big mountain to climb.
I think there's only one on my list that I would put in contention. Maybe two in contention.
There's
with Indy.
two within the discussion.
Yes,
hypothetically, but to me, Indy destroys.
Yeah, agreed. I'd rather watch Indy than these films. Yeah.
Not even close. Yeah, like that's just an all-time classic. That's why it's not an action. It's not a this. It's not a. It's just like you put that on, I'm watching. I don't care how many times I've seen it.
Yeah.
There's very few movies. That's rarefied air.
Yeah, agreed. Do you want to tell them how the show works?
Yeah, once we set a topic, John and I go our separate ways and create individual top 10 lists. Show back up here. I do my bottom three. He does his bottom three. I do my next two. He does his next two. Then we trade one apiece. Once we have revealed our personal top 10 list, we create the shows between the two of us.
Kablam!
Bam.
My man. This is going to be fun.
Yeah.
So, because I imagine we're going to have a lot of the same ones, so it's going to be haggling crazy.
I think we'll have 6 to 7. So I guess the over-under for me is 6.5.
Okay.
Maybe it should be.
What's
7.
the half movie
What's that?
What's the half movie we're going to have?
No, I was just saying, when you set a betting line.
Oh, yeah, right.
It seems like it's really right in between these two.
Okay.
If you're doing a 50-50 bet,
right,
6.5.
All right, anybody listening to us right now in a group, pause it for a second, take bets, and then see if you're going to be right, and see who gets the pot at the end of the show.
Well,
not that I advocate gambling.
Yeah, but you got to set the odds within the room of people that you're doing it with. So what if somebody's not willing to accept 6.5, but they'll take 7, and you're willing to do it?
There you go. That's right. There you go. Put it on the board.
You do whatever you got to do.
Put it on the whiteboard.
Because this is truly a personal. Like, yes, there are ostensibly better movies or something that you could put on.
Right.
But when I think 90s action films, my number 10 is a damn masterpiece.
I probably should just say punt now. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, it's not. It's not. I don't think it makes your list.
Okay.
This is one of those. I was like, well, that's my number 10 when I was thinking of this list.
Okay.
Is Under Siege.
Oh, that is on my honorable mentions.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, you started doing a finger point down to your phone like up.
I was hoping. I was wondering if I'd put it up higher because it had been in the running. It was in the running, and then in the end, I was like, no, I have to move these other ones ahead of it. But what a great choice!
Look, it's like the only time that on some level Steven Seagal made a legitimate movie. Because all the others are kind of ridiculous.
Yes.
At some point.
Right.
At some point.
Still somewhat enjoyable.
Yeah. This one is ridiculous as well, but I don't know. This felt more, I guess it's just because of the quality of the actors he's up against with Tommy Lee Jones and Gary Busey before he had his car accident where it messed up his noggin. And Seagal couldn't, big league the entire cast, is my guess, because these guys weren't going to take it. Who the hell are you? Yeah, we've done actual real prestige. Hell, Busey had won an Oscar at that point.
That's right.
Yeah, so you're the new guy here.
Yep.
Because every other story I've heard from him behind the scenes is like he shows up, he does these stupid wannabe alpha male stuff to assert his dominance on set, and especially any of the male actors and whatnot. It's just like, wow, that's so ridiculously infantile.
I love how alpha is. He can't dominate food. The food dominates him, fat tub of bitch.
Oh,
he's a tubby bitch now,
maybe
man.
It's an argument for he is literally dominating his environment. He's just taking in whatever resources he wants.
Sure.
To him, that punch means I am the ultimate conqueror of this world.
If you say so, man.
No, I don't say so. That was mocking and sarcastic. But in this
is fun, dude.
This is so much fun.
Yeah, man.
Tommy Lee Jones is an amazing villain to go up against, like within the context of this movie, and it's semi-plausible they're going to steal warheads off of this battleship, I guess.
For the 90s, it's semi-plausible. Absolutely.
Yeah, for the 90s, it didn't seem so as ridiculous as tons of other movies when this came out. Because I can't remember what year this was. I want to say it was early to mid-90s.
Yeah, I think it's probably 91, 92.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to look it up. Might be a Schmodown question. You never know.
You never know. It could come up. When is Under Siege? Is there going to be a pie on the wheel eventually?
Action Adventure. I have to show up on Action Adventure, don't you think?
Yeah, but
92. Yeah.
92?
Yeah.
I don't know if that clears the hurdle for most people to make their lists.
Yeah, well.
I was at the right age when this came out.
Me
it
too,
was
dude.
just so much. I'd already seen a couple of Seagulls, and I liked them. I didn't love them.
Yeah.
You know, he was a poor man's, a bunch of other really good action
Jean-Claude
stars.
Van Damme.
What's that?
He's a poor man Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Kinda.
I like Van Damme, dude.
So do I.
Those films still hold up as cheesy, fun things to revisit. The Seagal ones don't hold up as much when you go back. Although I like Mark for Death, the one with the Jamaican drug dealers. That's operating a whole, like, they were all high when they made that fucking movie. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's violent as hell, and it's crazy.
And the problem is I don't know what is what because they've just kind of bleeded into Marked for Death and Out for Justice.
Yes, Hard to Kill.
Hard to Kill. They're all like one movie.
And Above the Law, of course.
Above the Law.
Those are the great lines.
Okay.
You fellas think you're above the law. You ain't above mine. Yeah.
I just think eventually Van Damme would at least try and change his look and create character and whatnot. And Steven Seagal was the same squinty-eyed, ponytailed dude in every movie.
Yep.
He never changed.
Yep.
The story around him changed, but basically he played the same character over and over and over again.
I love this. He's a cook in this one.
Yeah, he's a cook. He's a former special forces that got demoted to cook. I can't remember the reason why. But eventually it's just like them and a bunch of the old guys on the ship, and they're the only ones that know how to, like, you know, load the starburst because we got to fire across their bow to get an idea of distance and all that stuff.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it is. It is mindless entertainment.
Yeah.
To perfect 90s action for me.
Agreed.
People out there are going to be upset that I don't have other things on my list for this, which is like, I'm sorry. Rewatchability is the reason that makes it on this list.
And these are our lists, damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen that movie way more than I've seen a bunch of others.
It's one of the hottest scenes I've ever seen in any other movie, too, with Erica Lediak when she comes out of that birthday cake. Sweet Mary Mother of God. Not trying to objectify. I'm just saying, as a man in his late teens, early 20s, that girl is hot.
I'm sorry. There can be no... like high horse taken. She went topless for a scene to elicit that entire reaction.
She's gorgeous. My God.
Yeah.
All right, what's your number 9?
So my number 9 then is The Fugitive.
That's okay.
Well, if this is fake shock, this is the worst acting I've ever seen you do.
This is a massive punt.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, that's a rewatchability. I watch all the others on my list more than I watch.
Okay, fair. What's your number 8?
Look, they made my list.
I'm sorry, no,
you condescending son of a bitch.
I just defended your list, and then I condescended to. I apologize.
Yeah, but that defense was half-assed at best, and I think I'm being kind.
That's not true. I didn't know you were going to offend me in that way with your next choice. All right, what's your number 8?
My number 8 is Die Hard 2.
Oh, God, yeah, I know. I will never understand your love for this movie. I will never understand it.
I took it over 3 because it happened at a time in my life where I still believe that Bruce Willis was the man.
Well, this has nothing to do with Bruce Willis. The story itself is ridiculous.
Don't care.
And I live in D.C.
Don't care.
Even harder. Yeah.
Don't care.
I know. You enjoy it.
I do.
You defend this film like crazy. I know.
I don't remember ever defending it before, but sure.
Yeah, we've talked about it numerous times on the show.
Wait, 3? Yes.
No,
Die Hard with
2.
a Vengeance.
Your love of 2.
Yeah, 3 has come up on numerous lists.
Oh, yeah, I know. And 3 has, but we have talked about 2.
I think
your
once,
defense of it.
Maybe twice.
Well, maybe it made such an impression in my head that maybe.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I was still young enough because this is another early 90s.
Yep.
And Die Hard was one of my favorite movies in the entire world at that time.
It is the greatest.
So I was happy with anything that was going to happen. And it was still like John McClane was just a cop.
Yeah.
Still in that realm. Yeah. Is this like... I think 3 is a more successful movie.
Oh,
overall,
yeah, sure, overall.
But I have a softer spot in my heart for 2. Okay. I do. Because I watched it at the age that I did.
Yeah.
That's the primary reason.
It barely qualifies. 1990, but it barely qualifies.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, all right.
It doesn't. There is no barely qualification. There is a qualification range.
Yes.
So long as you're in there,
fine.
It is part of that qualification. It's the definition of.
Fair enough.
It deviates in no
you're
intent.
Right. You're right. It qualifies. He's great in the movie. I just don't buy the whole idea of those
terrorists taking over the
William
terminal and shutting it all.
Yeah, doing his naked Tai Chi. I'm just like, I'm cool.
Doesn't that make him a more menacing villain?
No, not at all. Not even a little bit.
I think it does.
Okay.
You see a man doing that,
yeah,
butt naked.
Eek.
And is that sweat or is that oil? I don't know.
I don't
and I'm not
know.
sure which decision scares me more, that you've been doing this so much in a room that you gotten that sweaty, or that you oiled yourself up before you began to do it.
Yeah. I guess it was supposed to show that he was nutty or crazy or unsettled, unstable.
Yeah, I think just so singularly focused.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, he only has one goal, and he is damned if anything is going to step in his way.
And you got to credit Sadler for getting this part, because he doesn't normally play leads, either protagonist or antagonist, right? He's usually an ensemble guy. Because even in Bill and Ted's Next Adventure or whatever, he's like Death. He's funny as Death.
Yeah.
But he's not the lead. And in Shawshank Redemption, he's not the lead. He's one of the other guys in the crew of guys.
There's got to be instances where he was a lead villain. Again, because
I think in bad films, sure, but not in anything of real note.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there was any instance of note within that time period. Like, say, give a 5-year window or something. It seems like he would have had another shot.
You do? Well, let's see here. Let's take a look. Why you talk? We'll talk about the film.
Yeah, I'm just trying to scan my brain right now. It's not going to work as well as the phone as you look it up on IMDb or wherever. But trying to think, what else was he in at that point?
Well, he was in Hard to Kill, ironically. He played a senator in that. Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. He was in Rush. I never saw Rush. Oh, Trespass.
Okay.
He was kind of a bad guy in Trespass. Let's see. They're in Shawshank in 94. Yeah, dude. Then it's just crappy films like Solo, Bordello of Blood. Rocket Man. Was he the villain in Rocket Man?
Oh, well, he was the head astronaut.
Okay. Head astronaut.
On their trip to Mars, I believe it is.
Yeah, disturbing. And then he's in the Green Mile. Oh, yeah. He's one of the cops in Green Mile. That's right. I remember that. There you go. That's it. That's all he's done. I mean, he's done other things, but he's never a villain, like a lead villain.
That's surprising, because he just has the personality, the character, like to pull that off consistently.
He's got the look, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that strong chin of his.
And his voice, everything just couples together with, you can play an eerie individual.
Well, he did play a good military villain in this. Like, you could believe him as leading this group of people, even though some of his guys' henchmen were really cheesy. You could believe he would lead this group of people. And then you have the twist with John Amos. And then you have Bruce negotiating that airport and all that kind of jazz. And Dennis Franz being a dick, a massive dick the whole movie, which is funny. So it was shot in Chicago.
Well, you got Fred Thompson.
Fred Thompson, that's right.
Yeah.
The late, great Fred Thompson.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should believe you, McClane. But it's shot in Chicago in O'Hare. And it's supposed to be Dulles. They used O'Hare as the symbol.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
They shot not one lick of Dulles for this movie.
Well, you couldn't shut down Dulles to get this movie shot.
Nope.
And maybe perhaps at O'Hare at that time, it just recently expanded. They could potentially just free up the space for a little while.
Well, I think the time was that I think Chicago was trying to be a player in
movies,
and so they were allowing more and more films to be shot there. And there's a very strong Chicago contingent of actors that appear in numerous films, but only in films that are shot in Chicago.
Yeah,
like The Fugitive, was shot in Chicago. Dark Knight was shot in Chicago, I think.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, so there's only certain films that are shot
Pittsburgh.
there. Yeah, Rises was Pittsburgh. So there's certain films that are shot in certain places, and those actors appear in those films all the time because they just get cast out of Chicago. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
If you can get work out of there, it's like being a New York actor or anywhere else.
Right. Or Atlanta now. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's true. There's so much production going on down there.
Yeah, dude. A shit ton. All right, so that's your number 8?
That was my number 8. What do you got?
Is it my turn? Oh, okay. All right, my number 10 is... Oh, you're not going to like this at all. My number 10 is The Rock. If I can't condescend to you, you certainly can't condescend to me.
I think you fail to understand what the term 90s action movie truly means.
Sure.
If that's your 10.
Yeah, it's my 10.
Oh, man.
I can't explain to you why that film doesn't appeal to me more. But I can tell you that every other film above it is a film that I would rewatch before I would watch The Rock again. I can't explain it to you, but that's the truth. That's my number 10.
I'm just dumbfounded.
I'm sure we're punting. Is that what the look on their face is?
No, it's an honorable mention, and I'm kidding.
Oh my God!
I'm absolutely kidding. I can't believe you bought on that terrible fake.
I just didn't believe it.
No, that
all right.
That
All right.
That is an egregious punt. That's what that is.
Okay, listen. You can't judge me.
Egregious.
That's not
You've already judged me like 3 times.
Yeah, but you told me to stop.
Yeah, but you've already done it, so now I get to retaliation.
Right,
eye for an eye, man. I'm going to make this whole world blind.
That's right. Do it. Do it.
All right, what do you got at 9?
Bad Boys.
Fuck no.
That's not on your list?
Hell no.
Oh, I fucking love that movie, man.
Okay,
Bad Boys.
There's no way that's better than The Rock.
Please.
Anyway, go ahead.
It's more enjoyable to me. I enjoy that film a lot. I love. People know me. I love Michael Bay. I love pretty much most of his movies. Not all of his movies. Most of his movies I do enjoy, and I like the Will Smith, Martin Lawrence pairing here. Really enjoy them. Really fun. To me, it's fun to go back and watch that film. And the things they go through, and I love Chechki Cario as the main villain. He's really great. He was come out of La Femme Nikita.
Yeah.
He crossed over from that film into this, playing a villain as well, and really enjoyed like the back and forth of that. And it was like this first kind of like combination of like this overt kind of comedy. Plus, it's 2 black guys that are leading a feature film in this way.
Yeah.
Funny kind of humor, this kind of black humor in a feature film kind of way. Then they said it was in Miami, which is so it's visually beautiful to watch. They got the 2 side cops or Latino cops that are there working with them. You got Joey Pants rolling through. You got this whole idea, and I love the line. The lines are all great lines in this movie. You know, my shit works sometimes, all the time. And then you got Joey Pants saying, "Do what you do, just do it quicker," and all this stuff that goes on, the drug trade, everything about it. It's just so much fun, and I enjoy the shit out of this movie. And what can I tell you? I watch it over and over and over again whenever it's on TV.
I just love that. Like when we did our Blender Dome.
Yeah.
You were offended on behalf of Italians for the fact that they did not cast an Italian in those roles. And within this, they're telling a story in Miami, which is Latino USA. And the movie follows.
Cuba USA.
It doesn't matter. It's Latino. I was just saying, for the population density, that's got to be the highest in the nation of
Fair enough.
Latinos in one city. And they focus on 2 black guys.
Well, you know.
I'm not saying
I'm okay with it.
Awesome for them.
Yeah.
It was an entertaining movie when it came out at the time. I just don't go back to revisit it ever.
Well, no offense to Nestor Serrano and Julio Oscar Machoso, who are the 2.
Well, you can't compare. I'm not saying it's apples to apples, but I'm just saying it's like when
Fair
you
enough.
watch what was that Naomi Watts tidal wave movie? I can't remember the something. You know what I mean?
Oh, The Impossible.
The Impossible.
Yes.
To tell a story that happened in Southeast Asia and focus on how it affected the white people. The white vacationers. Just like sometimes you got to pick your spots.
Yeah.
That always bothered me. I thought the movie was fine, but sitting in the theater, just watching that and being like, guys, this affected so many more individuals from this country in a much worse way.
Yeah. No offense.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when that other tsunami happened around that time, too, that model, they made a huge deal about the model losing her leg or her arm. It's like, motherfucker, people lost houses, bitch.
They lost everything.
Lives.
Lost
It was ridiculous.
way worse.
All right, then my number 8. Dude, listen. This is my list, okay? And I know fans are going to be mad. But my number 8 is Point Break.
I just don't understand your list.
Okay, all right, go.
I don't understand your list. So you're telling me that Bad Boys is practically equally as good to you as Point Break?
Yeah, probably around the same.
Oh my God!
I got an issue with Surfer Guys, man. What can I tell you? It just doesn't.
You have an issue for awesome '90s action films. Is what you have.
Well, you're judging my list. You're prejudging.
I am now.
You're prejudging the numbers.
You came out and judged first, so I am now judging accordingly.
All right, now that we've judged the bottom 3, it's a no judge zone.
Well, bullshit. It's going to be a continued judgment zone.
All right, fine.
I can't believe that 2 off the bottom like that. Are you kidding me? 7 for me.
Yeah.
Leon.
Not on my list.
Not on your list?
I had to take it off.
Why is that?
It was because I think there's a lot more conversation than action in that movie. So in my mind, I didn't have as much action.
See, but for me, this
and it doesn't make you shouldn't have. Like that's for me, right?
Yeah, but this is starting to go. Hey, you know what? We can actually tell a meaningful story with action.
Mm-hmm.
Like to put out an action film that also has a voice.
Yeah,
it has a purpose. Even if that purpose is we're just going to show you a snapshot of a fucked up cross section of a few different people's lives.
Yeah. Perry tried to get me to put it on the list.
Perry was right.
Yeah, we should try, but I
think we should have Perry edit your list every week now.
Fuck no. It happens in one room. Right? The whole film. I mean, yeah, he goes out.
No, yeah, he goes out. It happens in one building.
And there's no action outside the hotel. Everything else is a conversation with Daniello. He kills the person.
Yeah, but that's outside
of
of
the
the
darkness. All of it is outside. Everything goes like.
Well, I think
no
they're
action.
apartments, not a hotel.
Oh yeah, apartments. I'm sorry, apartments. But there's no action other than the apartment. And
Well, you got the Aiello, you got Oldman outside of the apartments itself.
right. But everything's in the apartments.
Yeah, but this is also just a
It's not
small,
like the raid,
once again, a snapshot of
Yeah.
a specific moment in these people's lives.
Yeah, I get it.
So however long the duration of this is, but
Yeah.
other than the fleeting, like they make eye contact every once and again because she's a kid and she wants to reach out. Hey, there's somebody else. It's just the pure innocence of that. And then Leon just being on his own island, but that is someone like he knows that they're innocent. They're not trying to hurt him, or he doesn't have to be hired to take them out. So that person is not a 1 or a 0 to him. That is, it is without definition on some level. But man, Oldman alone,
Of course.
is an absolute revelation.
He's fantastic in the film.
It's the early. I think that was the first time that it ever slapped me in the face of like, dear God, this guy is so amazing. Because I was pretty, I was still watching, like catching up with movies, lots of movies, doing it as much as I could. Nowhere near, as many as I've obviously seen now. But at that point, I know I possibly had seen him in something before this. Maybe.
Yeah.
Because I know I didn't see Sid and Nancy before this.
No. I had seen Romeo is Bleeding, I think,
I don't think I saw that
before this. And he plays a weird kind of like a detective.
Is True Romance before or after this?
Oh, it's before, I think, True Romance.
Okay.
Because he's playing the small parts in those films. Man, he's so good in that film.
Yeah, it's another one.
Yeah. I watched it again the other night, and I had forgotten how much I enjoyed that film.
But,
But you try to think it's not going to be as good, but it is. Yeah.
Yeah, when he pops in, man, when he is just out of his mind.
So True Romance is a year before. So it's literally just a year before.
Yeah. So when Oldman shows up, I don't remember the corrupt detective's name.
Yes.
But he takes drugs. And he's already manic, and he manages to amp up his acting and take on this super aggressive, unhinged. Like it's difficult to think of another actor that could pull that off.
Oh yeah.
Because the mania
And not
in
be
his eyes,
cheesy. And not be cheesy. Yeah.
Exactly. Would not chew the scenery and just destroy the scene because they think they need to be verbose or huge or outlandish or whatnot. And he just knows the right amount of kinetic energy to bring and to when to pull it back.
Yeah.
It's just super impressive. But to see this come out like within the 90s, it's like, wow, these movies can be above what they are.
Right, and that's Luc Besson, who had done La Femme Nikita in France, coming over, and Leon or his brother in the universe of those two films.
I knew they were connected. I didn't know how.
Yeah, his brother is a cleaner as well. Or what do they call a cleaner in La Femme Nikita?
Okay.
He pours acid on the people's bodies. It's fucking intense because there's a scene where he kills someone or thinks he kills someone, hasn't fully killed. Then you see him pour acid on the body, and you see the arm, the hand, and the foot outside the bath start twitching.
Oh, yeah.
It's fucking gross as hell. And I almost put La Femme Nikita on this list, but once again, it's one of those films that there's a lot of talking and then only 2 or 3 pockets of action. So it didn't quite make it on my list in my head as a 90s fully action movie. But Leon is a great choice. And Natalie Portman is incredible. 12 years old or whatever she is. Phenomenal what she does in the film and the connection and the relationship that's developed, and people still push for a sequel to this film with her as an assassin now because of all he taught her in the movie. Whereas Portman is because he essentially teaches her how to be an assassin through the whole movie, leaves her all that money.
Yeah.
So maybe she travels Europe, becomes assassin. Like there are rumors that they want to combine the John Wick into like Portman, have them cross over and have a John Wick film where they're both like assassins in the movie. There's a lot of rumors.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Just cross the universe over.
Yeah. Make it work.
I mean, I could see it. I could see it working. Just depends. It all comes down to how Portman chooses to play the character.
True. I think I'd seen Oldman. I saw this really weird 80s film, Criminal Law, with him and Kevin Bacon, where they think he's a serial killer, but they're not sure. And then I think it's Kevin Bacon and him. And then Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead. I saw him in that with Tim Roth.
You brought that up in the past.
Yeah, and then JFK. Remember, he's Gary Oldman. He's Lee Harvey Oswald.
That came out before?
It was 91. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I think of that as after.
Yeah. He was JFK. He was Lee Harvey Oswald in that.
Okay.
So those little, like he had done something because he's also in Henry and June, playing small parts in June, and like you said, with Nail and Eyes from like that's a really big lead, but that's 86 or 88, something like that. But so going into the American market, he was doing these kind of smaller parts to establish himself, but still showing his abilities as uniqueness as an actor. And True Romance is that, and then boom, right into The Professional. And The Professional is the one that made Gary Oldman a name. So it's a good point you bring up with that.
Yeah, he's gotten to coast. Like it just sometimes it's a bad movie, and I haven't seen it. Like Red Riding Hood, I didn't see.
Oh,
I'm sure he's great.
Yeah, sure.
I'm sure he played the part to a T. Yeah. He's got quite a few of those. That just like, for whatever reason, that was the work he was getting, and he took it. And I don't fault him for it.
No, of course not.
It's weird because I don't know a single person that thinks that he's not a great actor.
Yeah. Neither do I.
Even before this win, it's always everybody that watches movies knows he is stellar in out of the box every single time.
Yeah, it took him 30 years to win a fucking Oscar. That's insane.
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of tough to pinpoint. Maybe Tinker Tailor.
Tinker Tailor he's
but I'm saying like when he's been on the level of you did an Oscar-worthy film, you were the best thing in this Oscar-worthy film.
Yeah, this he was incredible in this. He deserved it, hands down, for this. All right, what's your next one?
My next one after that is Speed at number 6.
All right. 1, 2, 9, 8, all right, it's my number 5, so I guess we can talk about it.
There you go.
Yeah. All right.
Perfect time to talk about it.
There we go. Don't judge my list. See, I got it up there.
It's a quintessential 90s action movie.
Absolutely. Really fun.
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah. Dennis Hopper,
who we just talked about on Blunderdome, actually giving a shit in this movie.
You could do practically a top 5 Keanu Reeves 90s action movies.
Yes. We should do that one time, like a top 10 Keanu Reeves movies. I bet we'd enjoy the shit out of doing that. But definitely you can do a top 5 Keanu Reeves movies. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, the top 10's possible.
No.
But some of those are going to be like, listen, I grew up with them, and I've seen that movie a bunch. Like, I have to go through. There was some weird, like, I'm a sucker for Constantine. I like that movie.
Oh, I fucking love that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand the flaws that people point out that it has, sure, but I think it had potential, and they could have made something out of it.
I was really mad they didn't do a sequel, man.
Yeah.
He's I know it's a British guy. I know it's not supposed to be an American guy, but the world of the film that guy created, the director created, is fantastic.
Yeah.
And to me, it's rewatchable a lot. Like, I've rewatched that movie in the last 2 years, maybe 20 to 30 times because of the world,
Yeah. No, they did such a nice job of creating it that it didn't matter that the first one wasn't this amazing masterpiece.
Yeah.
I was willing to continue down this journey because, like, you could tell some really interesting stories out of this space.
Yep.
But in Speed, it's like the inception of it turned Keanu Reeves into the possibility of being a leading man within an action film.
It launched them both, Keanu and Sandra.
Yeah. Sandra been tooling around, but yeah, this definitely announced her.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think anyone anticipated at the time that this was going to be any kind of hit.
No.
Because this is Dennis Hopper when he was just doing crap.
Anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before this. And Keanu wasn't a hugely bankable star on this level.
No.
And, obviously, Sandra wasn't a name.
I think it's the 1-2 punch of Point Break and this that launches him into...
I think this takes him to A-list.
Yeah.
This guy can open a movie level. Because they took what seemingly mundane idea, this bus can't go below 60 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And made it, kind of riveting.
It's really interesting how some of these actors, like, you've seen other things, and then they just get older, and for some reason they walk into this slot, and the public gravitates. Because I remember Gosling, I had no concept Gosling was going to be what he is now. When you see him as that bumpkin and Remember the Titans, you're like, this fucking guy? You give me a fucking break. But then he gets older, and then you see him in something like Crazy Stupid Love, and you're like, God damn, he's a cool son of a bitch. When did that guy show up? You know? And you're just like, oh. And the same thing with Keanu.
Does it over and over.
Yeah, and you see with Keanu, like Bill and Ted, you're like, these two are going to disappear.
I just think...
And then boom.
Keanu... You got to know what he does well.
Yeah.
And so long as if he can line up his strengths with the right script and everything else.
Yeah.
But I think everybody's seen him be successful enough times to be like, I know, and he knows what he's good at.
Right.
Just don't do an accent. That's where I think he falls
Dracula.
apart. Yeah, just like don't. Just make the character American.
Yeah, it was terrible. That was a bad idea.
Anytime like you ask him to stretch outside of that, although I don't think he should be in that type of movie.
No, I agree.
But at the same time, he was great in Much Ado About Nothing.
Yeah. A lot of people liked him as Prince John in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, within that cast, I wouldn't want him in, say, the Michael Keaton role. I
No.
wouldn't want him in the Kenneth Branagh, the Denzel Washington. Like, he is well cast in his
as a villain.
position in that.
Yeah.
So long as you know what he can and cannot do.
Yeah. But in this film, it's a lot of fun, and the bus. I mean, the whole idea of the bus, and what's really great too. One of the unsung things about this film, Matt, that I really enjoy is the character actors that are on the bus. Like you see them in a number of other things through the years, but this whole idea of what they're doing, it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of great interaction. It's really believable, and it's a nice romance that happens between them. That's sweet. It's a sweet romance through the film.
It feels somewhat realistic.
Yes, absolutely, and it seemed like they would fit. Do you know what I'm saying?
Plus, Keanu looked the part. Mm-hmm. That also sort of like when he's just wearing the vest and he's got the earpiece talking thing or whatnot. Like it's like slight tactical gear, but he's not like over the top, crazy, fully modded out. Just I kind of believed it. I was like, yeah, I could see him as like even now as like a government agent or it makes hitman possibility.
And there are stakes in this film because they kill off his friend Jeff Dane. They kill him off.
Yeah.
So there's stakes in this film. It's more than just like a fun action movie. There's like legitimate people dying around him that he has to seek vengeance for. So, which I liked. It was nice.
A good plot.
Yes.
A nice couple twists, like with the airport and then the bomb going off, the Daniels getting taken out, but the bomb going off later when they go to the house.
Yes.
And like it had a bunch of nice, and then ultimately the payoff at the end. He's just like this sad guy, really, who just was left to his own devices for too long.
Yeah. And topical because at that time, that's what companies were doing to a lot of workers. They were taking away their pensions,
you get
firing
a watch.
them, and getting a watch. Yeah. Oof. Terrible time.
Yeah, thanks for the decades of your service.
Yeah. Here's a kick in the
All right,
ass.
so that was my 6. So what do you got at 7?
My number 7 is Con Air, motherfucker.
Yeah, no.
What?
Yeah, no.
It's not even on your list?
No.
Get the fuck out of here.
Dude,
really?
Going back to watch it for that Blunderdome.
Oh.
And don't yell at me, you guys voted for that thing to be a Blunderdome.
Yeah, you're idiots. It's not a Blunderdome. It's a
I
damn
just
good movie.
can't with that movie.
Oh, I love that movie to fucking pieces.
It doesn't make sense every which way.
Of course it doesn't make sense. It's not supposed to make sense. You're supposed to follow Nick Cage. He got in trouble. He's a noble guy. He got put in jail because these people were fucking with him.
For a thing you could never go to jail for.
Well, assault and battery you go to jail for.
Sure.
He killed the dude.
He should be registered as a deadly weapon. Yeah. Those dudes came up and tried to attack him with weapons.
They did.
And they saw the other, like 50 other bar patrons saw those dudes harassing him all night.
Yeah.
So it should be no surprise to any of them that they got into a fight later. And everybody, without being there, would have assumed those guys started it because they were doing it all night.
Yeah.
They did it one more time, and a fight broke out.
I guess so.
No.
Well, you never know. You never know.
Look, I am sure the vast number of people listening agree with you wholeheartedly.
I dig it. I just dig it. There's something about this film that just hits all the right buttons for me. I love the supporting cast. And you got a great villain in fucking Malkovich, who's in the prime of his ability to play villains. Cyrus the Virus, great name. You got Danny Trejo, fresh out of Chino, wherever he was
Ving
at.
Rhames, Dave
Ving
Chappelle.
Rhames, Chappelle, yeah.
The guy, Bubba from Forrest Gump.
Yeah, McKelty Williamson.
There you go.
That's right.
Let's see who else is there. Oh,
yeah.
John Cusack.
Cusack's in it.
The
Cole Meany.
Scottish actor from Star Trek Next
Cole Meany,
Generation.
yeah,
There you
right.
go.
And Rachel Tickerton, who plays from Total Recall. She was in Total Recall.
She's the guard.
Yeah, she's the guard. And you get, but the whole, and Buscemi. And Buscemi is the guy who eats people or whatever.
The serial killer that was behind the fucking Hannibal Lecter metal, mask. Who else was there?
Define irony. A bunch of people dancing on a plane to a song from a group that died in a plane crash. But I love the progression of it all. I love the music, those music cues, all of it. And then you have him doing that, put the bunny down. It's a tongue-in-cheek movie that has a lot of fun. And Simon West directed it, but Michael Bay produced it. And it pretty much feels like a Michael Bay movie. So,
it's a Michael Bay film.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
It is. What else did Simon West do?
I don't think much else. I can't remember anything offhand to think about with him.
So maybe he's the '90s version of whatever the when a director wants to take his name off a project, and it's like Alan Smithy.
Alan Smithy, yes.
Yeah. So maybe that gentleman's name is the Alan Smithy of the '90s.
Well, it happens. He did the first Tomb Raider film.
Okay, not impressed.
No, there's nothing in here. He did The Expendables 2. The first Mechanic, the remake of The Mechanic, I thought was all right. It wasn't great. It was all right. Yeah, he did Lara Croft Tomb Raider, and then he did General's Daughter after Con Air was his first movie. So I have a feeling that, Michael Bay had a lot to do with what he was doing there. But anyway, I just enjoy the movie. I know I can't keep going on and on about it. It's just enjoyable to me. I love the progression, and Monica Potter being in it. So you give him some kind of emotional anchor that he's trying to do. He's trying to live, to bring the bunny to his daughter, and to show his wife that and he could have walked away, but he didn't because he knew something bad was going to happen, and so he's a noble guy. All right, that's it. That's
I'm not saying shit.
All right.
Keep my mouth shut.
Where are we? I'm at to my 6, or was that my 6? All right.
We're at to your number 6,
which is Mission Impossible.
Not on my list.
Wow.
You know I'm not a fan of the series.
Yeah, but this one, I thought maybe the first one.
I just don't care about the franchise. They're fine. They're all like entertaining on some of it, but I always walk out the same.
Oh,
just like meh.
Okay. I like this one a lot, and it's one that you can still go back to. It's Tom Cruise really reestablishing and not a lot of people were able to make these transitions to redo these TV shows into movies and do them the way they did. And the reason it's still going now is because he does a really great job with it.
He's successful.
Yeah.
Like he plays an action hero better than, just about anybody alive.
Yeah.
There are very few, and he still does it to this day.
Yeah, and they're great. Like the opening action scene, I mean, Emilio Estevez is part of his crew, but it's so random. You get Ving Rhames.
I don't even remember that. Really?
Yeah, he gets killed in the beginning of the movie.
Wow.
He's part of the crew.
It's been that long since I've seen it.
Well, yeah. He's in the elevator when they're trying to make it work and it doesn't work and the bowls are sticking out and he's like, ah! And boom, he just dies. He gets stabbed because John Voight's turned on the whole team. And that was another thing people were pissed off at because John Voight was the Peter Graves character and they turned him into a traitor. And people were super pissed about that. Like the old school people were super pissed about it with Mission Impossible.
Do you know that when Emilio first started his, he flirted with going with Sheen?
Oh, yeah, like his dad.
And he got, headshots made up. I was on a wormhole on YouTube, and it popped up in a clip, and he saw it on just Emilio Sheen, and was like, that, what?
Yeah, that'd be weird.
Yeah, it would be weird. Yeah. Emilio Sheen, so a Mexican Irishman?
Well, that's what
possible.
They were.
Oh, well, yeah. No.
Martin Sheen is a Mexican Irishman.
But he stole the name outright from 2 other individuals.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah, because
But I think his mom is Irish and his dad's Mexican. That's in real life. That's legitimate.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't look Latino from what I know of Latinos at all.
No.
Yeah, he passes.
Emilio looks more Latino than Charlie and Martin, in my opinion. Emilio looks more Latino.
Yeah, because to me, that's like saying 0.1 is more than 0. Like, you're right.
Okay.
But he's not.
Don't you tell me who looks Latino, man.
I'm saying from my perspective.
Okay, fair.
That's all. That's the only opinion that I can give is through these eyes.
That's true.
I can't tell you.
Behind those hazel eyes. Yeah.
Exactly. You do you, John.
I'm trying. It's hard, but I'm trying. Anyway, yeah. So, and I enjoy the action sequences are great. Like the whole train thing is fantastic.
The suspending thing. That's still.
Oh, the suspending thing is incredible.
You could probably still drop that reference.
Yeah. And then the water, like when he blows up the aquarium, the angles. De Palma does a great job directing this movie. A lot of action through it, a lot of suspension and tension through the whole film. And then you get that all the final stuff that goes on there and all the action stuff. Kristen Scott Thomas is in this movie as well. There's a lot of good actors in this movie throughout the whole thing. And Ving Rhames, of course, the great camaraderie.
Is John Voight in this?
Yeah, John Voight's the guy who turns on him.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. He was the head of the the CIA
IMF
branch that this is, and basically he's killing them all off.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. He was the Peter. He's supposed to be the Peter Graves character from the TV show. Yeah, that's why a lot of the old fans of the show were pissed off that they made him a turncoat.
Yeah, I've never seen the show.
Yeah, Oh, really?
Nope.
Oh, shit, man.
I know it was a show, but I've never seen it. Like the fact that wasn't Martin Landau on the show.
Yeah, Landau was on the show.
That is baffling to me.
And Leonard Nimoy.
That doesn't make any sense to me. I've never heard that until right now. That makes no sense because Martin Landau to me is movie only.
Oh,
in no way does he doesn't slum it on TV. And
he did 2 very famous TV shows.
I wasn't alive.
Mission Impossible and Space 1999.
Never even heard of the second one.
Oh, my God.
Space 1979?
1999.
Pardon me, 1999?
Yeah. What?
I don't even know what the fuck that's about.
Are you serious?
Never heard of it. Who else was on that? What year did that come out?
1976.
Was there a guy, did you go to a theater and they were just on a hand crank and it was somebody on a piano next to the stage? Just doing the music and there were title cards that would come up and tell you the action?
I'm going to look this up now.
I'm very much picturing the church and Three Amigos right now.
I feel like if Bibiani even remotely listens to our show, he's pissed off right now. This was on for 4 seasons, 1975 to 2 seasons, 1975 to 1977. The crew of Moonbase Alpha must struggle to survive when a massive explosion throws the moon from orbit into deep space. So it was essentially kind of another version of Star Trek, and a little bit before Battlestar Galactica, or right around that time as well. People were exploring space and all that kind of shit. But yes, Martin Landau and Barbara Bain were the 2 leads in the show, and it went on for 2 years. And I used to watch it all the time. That, Mission Impossible, and Hawaii Five-0, I would watch.
Heard of both those?
Yeah,
heard of both those, man.
But this is, and I respect the fact that you think Landau was filmed, because he was obviously in North by Northwest. So he had done a bunch of films.
Yeah.
But then he wasn't in demand anymore, so he moved into television. Exactly.
And then he came back when I was
right.
When I was a kid, he was getting all the older man parts.
Yes. And he was great in him because he's got a great voice. Look, I love him in Rounders. Oh man, he's one of the biggest reasons I enjoy that film. The judge.
Is he a judge? Yeah.
Yeah, he's a judge.
They're trying to give him like you just want Damon to go down that road. What are you doing, man?
You don't have a movie if he doesn't.
I know.
Yeah.
Such a good movie. I can't believe it didn't do better when it came out.
But it's still legend.
They flirted with doing a sequel.
Oh, yeah?
Whether or not that ever happens, because it's the same guy that does Billions.
Yeah.
He's one of the co-writer.
Koppelman,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. He tweeted to me on Twitter once when I talked about Rounders, and because I used to listen to his podcast called The Moment.
I listened to like 6, 8, maybe 10 of them.
It's still on.
Yeah.
And so recently, like maybe 2 months ago, one of our fans tweeted us talking about Rounders and then tagged Koppelman.
Oh.
And I tweeted back with the tagged Koppelman and to the fan and said...
you cut me out.
No,
son of a bitch.
Maybe it's there.
Went through and edited me out
because he only tagged me.
I don't want Koppelman knowing I'm associated with this guy.
No,
it's ridiculous.
He just tagged me and Koppelman. So I said, I just said how I loved Koppelman because I used to listen to The Moment all the time, and so he tweeted back. He said, "Thanks for loving Rounders, and my podcast is still going. It's even better than it was before. Listen again." And I was like, "Oh, that's awesome. That's sweet. That's very nice." So there you go. I don't know how we got on that, but anyway, that was Mission Impossible was my number 6.
That was your number 6?
Yeah, what's your number 5?
I don't know. We went through the history of mid-'70s television for a half a second.
There's nothing wrong with that. What's your number 5?
My number 5 is probably not going to be on your list.
Oh, fuck.
Hunt for Red October.
That is not on my list.
Oh, baby.
Is that a 90s film?
Yes.
It's not 89?
No.
Are you sure?
I'll look it up right now.
Better look it up, son.
That is a 90s film.
I feel like that's a 89 film.
I don't believe so. Look, if it
Where's
is,
Scott Mance when we need him?
If it is, I don't know. He's yelling at somebody somewhere.
You're right. 1990. Oh, good job,
there
Matt.
it is,
right
baby.
Under the bay.
There it is.
That's a great choice, my friend.
I wanted to put it higher, but the other ones to me seemed more 90s, quote unquote, to me.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So just like if we're going pure rewatchability, it's tough for any of the others even to talk.
Yeah.
Like get in the conversation with this one for me personally.
Hunt is great.
Yeah.
I share your love for Hunt, and I respect I respect your overwhelming love for it. Yeah.
We've talked about it numerous times in the past. So you can tune into, I'm not even sure what shows it's come up on. Harrison Ford, of course.
Sure.
But it's come up, I know, at least once.
Well, it wouldn't come up on the Harrison Ford, right? What? Because he's not in it.
Oh, I'm sorry, not Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Maybe. Well, it could have been a discussion of that because we had to choose one of the others.
Yeah.
I know it has come up before. Anyway.
Yeah.
It is, as we said before, and I know it's, for me, my personal opinion, you start story on submarine, I'm already on board.
You are, I know.
I'm already with you. So what do you got?
The Top 10 show is a big fan of submarine movies. Matt has 2 of them on his list in this film because Under Siege, it's on a ship.
Yeah, the submarine does pull up next to it. It's like a battleship.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's a destroyer. I'm not entirely sure.
Right. We're fans of Das Boot.
Yeah, Das Black Sea.
Crimson Tide.
Yeah. The list goes on and on.
These are all big movies for the Top 10 show.
So it's sub, you've already got me. And then you throw Cold War.
Yes.
Yeah, nuclear.
Tom Clancy.
Exactly. A Caterpillar drive, and the fact that more than likely both sides tried to come up with some sort of propulsion technology that did this to alleviate, to basically wipe them off of. Although I don't know how that takes them off of radar specifically, because if you pinged them, they would still reflect back.
But maybe the Caterpillar drive
it
allows
without the propeller running, so you can't hear them.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know. It's one of those things of I've never been on a submarine.
It's one of those rare pockets of science that you do not know about.
Let's not go too far. There's numerous pockets of science I know absolutely zilcho about.
Please. Compared to me, you're fucking Stephen Hawking.
You can thank the internet for that. That's just that's late night and finding one article and going, oh, that's interesting, and then finding another article and just kind of going down that, or doing it on YouTube.
I just watch old Redskins highlights. Anyway, yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
I do that sometimes too. Not Redskins.
Do you go back and watch old like Chicago Bulls highlights or whatever?
Bulls or games or.
Like
I've
Bears?
gone back and what's that?
Bears? Did you go watch?
I talk about basketball. Basketball is usually the only thing I go back for.
Okay.
Old Olympic games I've gone back and rewatched.
Really? Like Dream Team games?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Original Dream Team plus the one with like Kobe and Bron and all those guys in China.
That was great.
There were some great games.
Yes.
In that series.
Was that the Argentina game too? That was really incredible between them, or Spain?
There was Spain. That was Ricky Rubio announcing himself kind of to the world.
It was Ricky Rubio and some.
Yeah, I've gone back and rewatched that one.
Yeah.
And Kobe just taking over. Here's a team full of.
Neither one of them wants. Nobody can take the alpha dog.
And everybody's fine giving him the keys.
I remember watching that game, going, "This is incredible." As much as I may hate Kobe, it's incredible what he's doing.
Plus, you saw the pecking order.
Yes.
That's kind of it's rare that it hashes itself out, and everybody deferred to him, going, "This is our best option right now." That's pretty impressive. I don't know if you take him at that point, and then LeBron say at his point now, and Durant at his point now, and whatnot, if they would still defer as much, I have no idea.
I don't think so.
Yeah, neither do I.
No, they're all alphas now.
But anyway, so Hunt for Red October, all those stakes: Cold War, submarine, nuclear weapons, like fantastic performances. I like that Costner didn't even, or not Costner, Connery didn't even remotely try and do an accent. There's no point.
Yeah, he's Moscow by way of Edinburgh. Yeah,
exactly. I love the stupid trick of they're speaking Russian and the camera slowly pans in on them. What are they reading? Shakespeare, and then he pulls out, and then he's speaking English. Great transition. No explanation needed.
Agreed.
And I am happy as a viewer. Let's just move forward. I don't have to read, especially at that age. Now it wouldn't bother me at all.
Right.
But that young, I was like, great. Don't have to deal with subtitles. Awesome.
You're good to go.
Yeah, good to go.
Good cast too, man. You got Sam Neill, Tim Curry, Ed Scott Glenn. Scott Glenn
is in it.
Yeah, obviously Baldwin.
Baldwin, Jones.
Yes, James Earl Jones. Jeffrey Jones, I think too.
Jeffrey Jones. Yeah, he shows up. He's the one that's paralyzed.
Yes.
He's the engineer, and tells me, you know what I think this is? I think this is a caterpillar drive.
Yeah.
And it's a great. I love that. Just going to a shipyard. And let me go. I think the guy's name is Skip or something.
Yeah.
Fred Thompson is in this as well.
Oh, yeah, Thompson's in this. That's right.
Yeah, he's where Baldwin goes when he lands on that carrier.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? Is there anybody else?
Yeah, Stellan Skarsgård.
Skarsgård?
Yeah, because he's the other Russian guy.
Did you say Sam Neill already, obviously?
I did. Yeah, I did.
Trying to think if there are any more of the Russians. I don't think so. There are guys, they popped up in other movies, but I don't know their names off the top of my head. I love all that. Just like, Captain, we're going too far. He's trying to evade the torpedo behind him. He doesn't want to let his crew know yet. So they're going through those deeps. And just as the amount of tension of just a stopwatch.
Of course.
Just counting down, and you're blind.
Well, that's
utterly blind.
That's what's great about sub movies, Matt, is that the tension is always there because you got nowhere to fucking go. You can't step out of the sub and go somewhere else.
See?
You're stuck in a sea, son.
Yeah. It's all instrumentation and map work and science and math, and I hope we're right.
Yeah.
That is a ballsy gamble.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. Because what happens if the sonar goes down? Okay, you're just going off charts because you can't go up on the sea level for long durations because you're just a target.
Yeah.
Your defensive capabilities are the fact that nobody can find you.
Yeah.
And then Alec Baldwin, I wish they had made other movies with him. I still like Harrison Ford in Clear and Present and Patriot Games.
Yeah, sure.
But I'm just amazed that he gave up this potential series because he was awesome.
He was an idiot, man. He did it because he wanted to do a play. He was so cocky back then, Baldwin.
Yeah.
That he did Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. They couldn't wait to start the film. Like he was like, well, maybe when I'm done doing this play, then I'll do the film. They're like, fuck you, we'll just cast someone else.
Yeah, but it's also he was doing whatever movie he wanted to.
Yeah, he was at that place where he could do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But who are you that you think that like Harrison Ford stepped in? Who the fuck are you? Like Harrison Ford stepped in.
Yeah, but don't you think they had to offer Harrison Ford more money?
Probably, but the fact that he could step in, it shows that Baldwin's thing was a bit of hubris. If you think you have some kind of more cachet than Han fucking Solo, and Indiana Jones. And that's the thing with like the situation.
Or it could have been the case of they heard through the grapevine that Harrison loved the first movie,
Oh, yeah,
and
maybe.
they have the books, and he was like, well, let me finish this play. I'm like, you got to do your play. You got to do your play. You know what? We got to start production today. Actually, we got this hot script. We don't want to lose the director who's attached. We're good to go.
Have you ever read the books? Any of the Clancy stuff?
No, my grandpa at one point tried to get me onto it, but he also gave me a stack of books and added it to that at the time, and I just never got to it.
Those things are extensive. I stopped being able to read the books because they were just so thick with information that I would listen to the audiobooks. And the audiobooks were great because F. Murray Abraham did the voice for those.
Oh.
And so he would do the different characters and he would do the narration.
What a great gig for him.
Oh, he's fantastic. If
Gotta
you
be.
can, any of the fans, if you're a big fan of Clancy stuff, you go back, listen to the audiobooks with F. Murray Abraham doing the voice. You will enjoy the shit out of those books, man.
Yeah, I
He
might
does
get
great
those.
stuff. He brings them to life, man. They're really great. All right, so do you want to keep
Yeah.
going?
If you guys want more in depth, we might have even done this on a Thunderdome once.
I'm sure we have.
We love this movie. I know I've talked about it minimum like 5 times on different shows.
That was your number 5?
That was my 5. We did your 5, right?
Right.
So my number 4 is a point from you earlier, Point Break.
Okay.
Rightly in the top 5. As a pure, you want to talk 90s. You want to talk 90s.
I know, but it's so cheeseball in some places, man.
That's the point. But it's not so cheeseball that it's ridiculous.
What?
It's not. It's not. Well, okay, what is so cheeseball that it takes you out of the realm of this is a moderately plausible on some level movie?
There's no way that motherfucker was ever a quarterback in college. Let's just start there.
True.
Let's just start there.
True. Now when you fall down into the LA River and drop 5 feet, and somehow that blows out your ACL.
Yes, there's
will
no
agree.
way. No, there's no
I
way.
will
you're
agree.
And that's another thing too. When he's chasing Patrick Swayze, that whole cheesy moment when he yells into the sky and shoots the guy.
That's the same part.
It's cheesy as fuck.
That's the same part.
I know, but he
Where
could have killed.
falls.
He could have shot him, but he plays that thing.
I think that's when he realized had it been anyone else in that gang, he would have fired, but he saw too much of himself in Bodie.
That's deep, man.
Listen, I'm telling you, that's how good this movie is. If you take it in the context of these two characters kind of circling each
they have
other
a
as a
great
yin and
relationship.
yang,
Yeah, absolutely. They're the reason to watch the movie, dude.
without a doubt.
Those two. Yeah.
As we said in the past, it's amazing that Swayze wasn't more of an A-lister after seeing something like this.
Yeah.
Because the possibility of him in this is boundless.
Yeah, agreed.
I can't imagine any casting director or a producer seeing that going, we couldn't use him in our movie in this capacity.
Yeah.
Because he's so physically imposing, and yet he's not a big guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just to the force of his will, determination, and just direction that the character has within it is all-consuming, of so much so that the other people around him are just basically pulled in his gravity because he has such a specific desire. And then the character of Keanu is being built up as this former college athlete that goes into the FBI, which it doesn't make a lot of sense that they're giving him shit because he should be the poster child. He shows up to the LA office, and they're like, whatever, noob kind of thing. Like, we're going to put you with our idiot partner. I'm like, never in a million years would the FBI ever take the guy that was a star quarterback and do this to him.
Yeah.
He would have a nice job in Washington somewhere, being groomed for that side of it.
Yep. But the chemistry with him and Gary Busey is fun. Once again, this is Busey before the accident, I think.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Right around the Speed time.
Yeah.
What was the other one we were just talking? Oh, Under Siege. Right
Under
around
Siege.
that time. Right
and
around
also,
this
like,
time.
Lethal Weapon was
Lethal
a
Weapon.
few years before this, like 3-4 years.
So good in that movie, dude. But then you get the progression of the film, and then you get the Red Hot Chili Peppers in this motherfucker. And
Kiedis is good, though.
All right.
He
if
is.
you say so.
He is. At no point is he trying to be other than what he can pull off.
Yeah.
Which is just kind of an idiot stoner surfer.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying he is that. I'm saying what he could acting-wise pull off, which he could. And they didn't really – there's only a couple shots, like when they first walk up to him on the beach, when he has like a solo line by himself.
Yeah.
Like where the camera is supposed to be just focused on him. And it is not a good – but, like, I believe that he shot himself in the foot.
Yes.
I 100% believe that acting, just like the idiocy and the build-up to that takes talent to pull off that kind of stupidity.
And Lori Petty's in this, right around that League of Their Own time as well. For her, when she was kind of like going to possibly be a lead or whatever, and they tried with Tank Girl, and that was pretty much it for Lori Petty. And she's popped up in other things every once in a while, but like really,
it was a League of Her Own.
Yeah, she's like the Jane Wheadland of the fucking film world. Like Belinda Carlisle was a success. She was a star. She went off solo. Jane never quite got there. So I feel like there's that kind of thing to make a Go-Go's reference. But
so does that make Keanu then Jane?
Jane?
Or Jane? What? Who's the lead singer of the Go-Go's?
Belinda Carlisle.
Belinda Carlisle. I'm sorry, I don't know where the hell I just came up with that.
No,
it's been a
Gina
long
Davis.
day.
Gina Davis was like the Belinda Carlisle. Like
He's saying a League of Their Own. I was talking about in the context of Point Break.
No. Yeah, no. I was talking about her entire career.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of thing. But it's a fun film, so I get it. I get why it's just not. I just wanted more from it, and I guess I don't have the same affinity as other people do for it because there's a lot of cheesiness to it that I can't get past.
The FBI is the police force, in essence, on the federal level of this country.
Yeah, sure.
And this, Busey has this one idea that they're surfers, and it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, sure.
Like, you look at it, like, they only happens in these pockets of time,
Right.
and they have this tan line, and we don't have any other way to catch them, so this, I don't know, this could be it.
It's a poetic film, too, in a way. Like, that ending is great. Like, did he survive? Who knows? And Catherine Bigelow, great job directing this film.
Yeah.
They didn't give a lot of films to women. She was fantastic directing this, actually.
Yeah, I hope he died.
Yeah?
It makes more sense to me for the character and for just the arc that they're creating for the two of them.
Well, they have no choice now. He actually did die, so they can't bring him back. So there you go.
I don't know now, with all the discussion of those deep fakes, if you've seen any of those clips lately.
Those are unsettling,
They
dude.
can bring him back.
My God, did you see the Melissa McCarthy one where they put Sean Spicer's face on her face when she's doing her parody jokes?
Oh, no, I've seen the Barack Obama and the
shit.
George Bush.
Oh, yeah? I haven't seen those.
The Bush one is freaky.
Okay, shit. I'm almost afraid.
Because it's in real time, the way the computer's doing it, and it looks relatively believable. You can still tell, but you're like, the processing power is just what's available to it right now. It's not like that's a supercomputer.
As soon as that becomes an app, it's going to be insane. It's going to be insane because someone took that and did and then fixed the Justice League footage.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
too.
it was incredible. So, all right, that was your number 4.
That was my 4.
Do I do my number 4 now?
Yeah,
Air Force One.
not on my list.
Get the fuck out of here, Matt Knost.
Not on my list.
That film has so much action.
Sure.
And you have Gary Oldman, and you have Harrison Ford.
Sure.
For God's sakes. Man.
Rewatchability is where it comes into.
What are you talking about, man?
I watch all the others on my list before I watch this.
And here's a good point you make, because it may just be for me because I love president movies. I really do. I'm a big fan. I read president biographies. I have a thing about it. And so for me, this film really carries a lot of weight with me. Plus, it's Gary Oldman playing the villain really well. Glenn Close, the vice president. Dean Stockwell. You have all these. Xander Berkeley, who's as the Secret Service guy, who's the turncoat. I forget who plays his wife. Then his child's on the plane. And this whole idea of the president having Air Force One hijacked. It was just a brilliant fucking concept. And the whole progression of it all is very believable. Nothing is ever done, in my mind, that is not, it is just done for convenience sake. Everything feels organically convenient within the world they've created in the movie. So much so that when he has that line that would probably be cheesy in almost any other person's mouth, get off of my plane.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
It works like crazy.
Without a doubt.
Right? He's so good.
And any other actor but Oldman could have taken that character way over the top.
Yes.
Yeah. And they make a believable movie out of a situation that could never happen.
And they make you think about the plight that he's talking about. Whereas, like, with Hans Gruber in Die Hard, he names off all these terrorist organizations that have been kidnapped or they've been put in jail, whatever. But he doesn't really give a shit.
No.
This guy actually does.
Yeah, he has convictions. There's a reason that's driven him to do this.
Right. And it's a kind of, and he's not necessarily a misguided terrorist. He's a terrorist who has a belief about what America did to his country and this country. It was really close to broaching like actual issues about American interference in numerous countries throughout our history, which I really enjoy. There was a tinge of realism to it that I enjoyed for an action movie. So.
Yeah, it literally is just a rewatchability. I will watch my other 10 before I get to that one.
Fair enough. All right, so what's your number 3?
My number 3 is the egregious punt from earlier. That is The Rock. You want to talk about
oh, shit. This is going to be interesting now.
Practically quintessential 90s action movie. It is The Rock.
All right.
It is Nick Cage at the height of his action hero.
Yeah.
Believe it.
Yeah.
I believe that he's Stanley Goodspeed.
Come on, Matt Knost.
Stanley Goodspeed.
Con Air you have a problem with, but Stanley Goodspeed's all right.
I don't, because it's like he's a scientist who knows something about specifically the type of gas, the VX poison gas that they have stolen. and he's an FBI agent, so you have been trained to use guns. So we're going to send you in. Now, you'd assume they'd be sending him in with like the Navy SEALs they go in with, but also with other federal agents.
Yeah.
I don't recall. I think it's just the Navy SEALs and the two of them.
Yeah.
The Navy SEAls all obviously get taken out or detained. Yeah, but I mean, within this, I somehow like their chemistry actually works really well for me.
Oh, who? Nicolas Cage and Connery?
Sean Connery?
Oh yeah, their chemistry is fantastic.
Like out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Did you ever in a million years see
No.
these two doing a movie together and
Hell
it's
no.
succeeding to this degree?
No, because Connery is such a fucking by the rules guy.
Yeah.
And Cage is very out there. I was surprised that they found chemistry that worked for them. Yeah.
And I never anticipated seeing Sean Connery in this type of movie.
Yeah.
Like he obviously done the James Bond and whatnot. He's accustomed to action films, but this is a slick, like MTV cut, stylized type of action film, and it's not something at that time you would have associated, at least in my brain, I don't believe, with Sean Connery. Then after that, he started doing, like, what's that one with Catherine Zeta-Jones?
Yeah, Entrapment.
Entrapment.
Yeah.
Like he continued to do more of these, and there was Rising Sun.
Oh yeah,
which was
Rising
pretty
Sun.
good.
I like that film
Yeah,
too. Yeah.
yeah. Him and Wesley Snipes.
Yep. Good book by Michael Crichton.
But I think this might have been one of the first conceptions with like, Sean Connery easily can kind of step into this world and still be a part of huge movies.
Yeah.
And Ed Harris is the bad guy.
Does a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think is Ving Rhames in this one as well. There's a bunch of
I don't remember if Ving is in this one.
like the same guy that is the field office head of the FBI in Point Blank is one of the bad guys in this. He was the
Cole Meany, the Irish guy, a Scottish guy? No.
he is on. I always forget his name.
Oh.
He was on Scrubs as the doctor that's not the eldest head.
Oh,
of
John McGinley.
McGinley. I always want to say
Yes.
McGill, and I know that's wrong.
No, McGinley's great.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's in this.
intense son of a bitch.
Yeah, there's a few others. The guy who was in the Green Mile that was Tom Hanks' second, so to speak.
David Morse?
Yes.
Yeah, he's in this? Okay.
He's in this.
All
He's
right.
one of Ed Harris's. He's basically Ed Harris's lieutenant.
Yes. That's right. And Ed Harris, here's an American terrorist.
It is. It's a
interesting.
terrorist, a domestic terrorist.
Yes, a domestic terrorist.
That is upset by the fact that the American government is not giving honor to the people that died for American causes, but they were doing it, unscrupulously.
Yeah.
I assume we're doing, I don't know how many of these a year, do you think?
Yeah.
Well, now a couple, my guess, is in the Middle East minimum.
Let's not lie to ourselves that we're the country who does not do nefarious shit that is necessary so that we can stop threats all over the world.
Sad as it is
That's
to
why
say,
we love the Sicario.
there's a reason that the terrorists exist.
Yeah.
Like just, it's a reciprocal thing.
Yep.
I don't know who struck first.
There is no black and white here, and if you're a fucking moron if you think there's black and white here.
Yeah.
It's a very gray area. Study the history. Read any of those books that explore the history of our espionage, our behind-the-scenes stuff, our country building, our like. There's a great line in Black Panther when he says to him when he burns all the plants and shit, and Martin Freeman when they're talking to Martin Freeman, of course he's doing that. He's been trained to do that. That's what his band
for
of people were supposed to,
destabilization.
exactly, and we contributed a lot of destabilization.
Oh yeah, well I mean
for
with
decades.
we did it in Iran
Yes.
by taking out the Shah and
Yep.
putting in a quote unquote democratically elected. And then we did it with banana republics down in South America. We
Yep.
did it over and over and over again.
Numerous times. Yeah.
Yeah. We've done all kinds of
Yeah.
terrible things, and also been partners in terrible things,
Exactly. And we've also done a lot of incredible things. And
and terrible things done to us.
yeah, and had terrible things. Exactly. So that's the balance of the world. There is no there's no black and white, man. It's all gray.
Yeah.
So you have a guy like this who steps in and and me having served in the military, I get his point of view. I may not agree with his tactics and what he's doing, but
True.
I get his point of view.
Yeah, his end goal makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just because he felt so cornered. This is
Yes.
the only thing that I can do at this moment, and maybe, I guess, forever. Because after you do this, you just burnt that bridge. There's
Yeah.
no going back. But, I mean, more than likely, he's not wrong.
No.
Because if they're part of some black ops or something and knew going into it that if you get caught, if you die, we have to excommunicate you and act as though we don't know you.
Yeah.
And just a terrible byproduct of doing illegal things in other people's countries.
Well, this is a great visual. This is a Michael Bay movie. Great car chase scene with the Hummer and everything. And
Yeah, and the Ferrari, I think. No, it's a Lamborghini. I think.
Lamborghini, right? And that's his homage to Bullet. with the McQueen film because it's all through Frisco. Yep, all that kind of stuff. And then, and I love the action sequence with the plane and Nicolas Cage with the flares.
Yeah, going over and holding the flares.
I love that. That's Michael Bay at his best with the God's eye shot and from behind and everything. It's just great. I love it. So, I just wish I connected to the movie more. And I rewatch it. Matt, I tried to rewatch this movie and connect with it in a way that a lot of people do, but I can't tell you why Bad Boys connects to me more than The Rock. I can't explain it to you.
I guess, yeah.
It's just the truth for me.
The stupid fun of, and plus like the pseudo-historical, they're going for, they've got film roll of, you want to know the Kennedy assassination if we faked the moon landing? Like that stupidity because it's almost an homage or a wink to the fact that Connery was Bond. So he was he's an imprisoned, British spy, and he's been in prison for 30 years or something.
Yeah.
So it's like a wink to his previous work.
Mm-hmm.
But I just liked it. It's more successful, just stupid action film for me.
I don't listen. A lot of people agreeing with you right now and yelling at me. So I
what do you got at 3?
My number 3 is Terminator 2.
That is my number 2.
Okay.
So I don't have one of your top 3 then?
Yeah, you don't. It's going to be an interesting conversation.
Maybe I forgot something.
Or maybe you just don't agree. What a film. And the news came out yesterday that they're going to start shooting the new one, the new Terminator, in the summer. Linda Hamilton is coming back, for fuck's sake. Cameron is going to be producing. Tim Miller, who did Deadpool, is going to be directing. And for some unknown fucking reason, Schwarzenegger is coming back to play a Terminator. But they cast... Do you watch *Halt and Catch Fire*?
Oh,
the AMC show?
No. Okay. No.
Well, they cast the main girl from that, Mackenzie Davis. They cast her. She's essentially going to be the new Linda Hamilton.
All right.
So, which is a nice choice. I liked her in The Martian and a few other films. Blade Runner 2049. She's the girl that has she's the prostitute that has sex with him through the...
Oh, the real person?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's her. And so she's going to be the face of the Terminator going forward. So, and they're picking up, not where this one left off, but they're picking up in the world that this was the last one that was made.
T2?
Yes. And they're not recognizing any of the sequels that came after.
Good.
So it's an interesting choice. And I thought it worked. I think it works for Halloween, but I don't know if it works for Terminator, man.
Don't you want to wipe those off?
Yes, I do. But now John Connor is almost 50. And Sarah Connor what is Sarah Connor doing? Like, why do you still need advice from Sarah Connor? If this is 30 years later, because 1992 is 36 years later, right?
Yeah.
36 years later, John Connor was 15 in that movie, 14 in that movie? He is 50. He is 50 years old. So if he's 50, mom is 70 something. So what is Sarah,
Well, this came out what year? 1992.
Yes. So are we going to do the de-aging? That's what I wonder.
No. Connor, that was 26 years ago. So Connor, you're saying
is it 26 years ago?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. 26 years ago.
So he's late 30s, early 40s.
40s, yeah.
So that puts her late 50s, early 60s. That's more believable to me.
Yeah, but what do you need from your mom at 40 years old? Like, what is she still training you to do? What is she still
Nothing.
teaching?
She's helping you fight.
Yeah? Is that what this is going to be?
Maybe.
Okay.
She's a tactician in the back, and why not? She's a resource.
But then who's going to play John Connor? They haven't even said John Connor's going to be in the movie.
There kind of has to be.
I don't know.
Unless they're changing the entire mythology. The reason
that's what I'm worried about.
Why they sent him back.
Because they said they're looking for a Latina lead to play the lead in the movie, not John Connor. So I wonder if John Connor dies in the future. I just wonder about it. I wonder what they're going to do.
That means there's going to be a lot of exposition at the top explaining that John Connor's dead because he altered the past by sending someone back to save her from the Terminator.
Maybe.
Then the future has been altered, and he no longer makes it because they know now to blah, 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 blah,
That's
blah.
a good point.
Yeah, so you could. It's going to be a big chunk of dialogue or paragraphs to open, which is fine. You can do that in a sci-fi film.
Well, she does that in both films.
Yeah.
Right? She does the voiceover.
You have to catch that's a lot, though. You're killing off a main character, the guy who's supposed to be basically saving this entire franchise.
Which is fine, because they've never been able to cast him right. Even Furlong.
No, Furlong is fine.
As close as you come, yeah.
But going forward, I wouldn't want Furlong today.
No.
He's not carrying the... Christian Bale was closer to that.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. But he was way too intense, man.
Kind of have to be, man. You're raised to know that you were going to be the person that takes out the machine apocalypse that's coming. You tell me that doesn't breed an intense kid?
I guess so, man.
That kind of fucks with you, especially once it starts coming true.
It's just hard to believe that Edward Furlong turns into Christian Bale. That's hard for me when I'm looking at the continuity of the movies.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, there's also then the last one, which I rewatched
Genesis?
6 months ago or something.
I've never seen it, man.
It's so bad.
Yeah, I can't make myself do it.
It shows potential.
Yeah.
But it's just not good.
Yeah.
And they also throw in something that looks like it's going to be a wink to something that happens potentially in a follow-up movie.
Oh.
There's the dude from Doctor Who, I think his name's Matt Smith.
Yeah.
Something like that. He's in it for a very brief role.
Yeah.
And you're like, why would you cast this dude that is huge outside of this market? He's probably bigger now than he was when he was cast in that, because Doctor Who's just gotten increased popularity in this country.
And The Crown. He's huge in The Crown.
Yeah, he's huge in The Crown, too. But his part in it is kind of small, and you're like, oh, it's significant, though.
Oh.
And you would think, perhaps going forward, if this was successful on the next movie, then they bring him back and it expands.
Interesting.
Further. But, it's not good. Whereas, look, T2 is... There's only one more 90s film to me than this. And it's tough. This is more like a 1A, 1B. One only slightly edges it out because it is just a quintessentially 90s.
Okay.
A lot of things that I sum up in my head about the 90s encapsulated in this movie.
Yeah.
But T2, it's Arnie at his best.
Yes.
It's Cameron at his best.
Yes. Then Linda Hamilton completely changing her body from what she was in the first film into this hard-edged no fat woman. She's just no fat, she's all muscle.
I don't buy Clark's critique of that.
Oh yeah, well, that's her opinion, she's allowed to have it, and I respect why she feels that way, but it's
I don't know if she had looked at it in the context of what else would you do with yourself except focus and work out everything, your muscles, your mind, your everything you possibly can.
Yeah, and maybe her version of Sarah Connor wouldn't have done that, but
Perhaps.
Cameron's version of Sarah Connor did, and Cameron's the one making the movie, so that's the one we go with. And I think when she did was to kind of add that quote that he said, well, look at Sarah Connor, she isn't conventionally attractive, or Linda Hamilton wasn't a conventionally attractive woman, she's strong and powerful because she lifts weights. And a lot of women really hated that because he was essentially saying, if you don't work out, you're not a strong person, you're not a strong woman. And so it was just dumb things for Cameron to say. But in the long run,
still though, man,
I think she's still iconic.
Anymore, I think people get offended by anything.
Yeah,
you could be like, oh man, cookies are great because of the sugar that's in it, and someone's going to be like, well, what about the eggs?
Yeah.
What about the flour?
Don't forget the eggs, man.
Yeah, and you're like, I like sugar.
Well, people went nuts today or people went upset. I'm sorry, I don't want to say nuts because that devalues. People were upset today that Jon Favreau was announced as the showrunner, executive producer for a new Star Wars TV series that's going to go to Disney streaming. Immediately, people were like, "Oh, great! Another white man in charge of Star Wars." They just put Benioff and Weiss in charge of a trilogy. Rian Johnson's going to be in charge of. It's all just white men, and this is a woman running it, Kathleen Kennedy. Why don't they have it? But it's a little more complex than this because Favreau has done so many great things.
Yeah.
And so he's earned his right to do to do a Star Wars.
He helped create Marvel Universe.
Yes, without him, Iron Man does not exist.
Exactly.
MCU does not exist.
MCU does not exist without his direction.
Yep.
And the live-action Disneys that he's turned into huge moneymakers.
Yeah, Jungle Book.
So of course Disney's like, this guy can handle a big. I think it just comes down to talent.
Yeah,
they like the talent of these individuals.
Yeah. And this is not to say that there's not a person of color or a woman out there who couldn't be just as talented, but this is about known commodities.
Exactly. They're a business. Yeah. And if you're going to start an entire Star Wars universe and you have a working relationship with Jon Favreau, why not see if he'd be interested in continue with this relationship further?
And it doesn't say that he won't hire female directors or color directors to do stuff. He's just
what if that show turns into 3 shows?
Yeah.
Because it easily could within Star Wars. And now he's hiring. Now he's the guy that oversees 3 shows.
Yeah.
And he's not just on top of one.
I think the optics are where they made the mess up because today's International Women's Day, and they announced this on International Women's Day. I think there's the mistake. And so that's where a lot of people were upset. And I absolutely get that.
That's just part of Walt's living will that they have to, is like part of the company bylaws. They still have to just pepper out male supremacy every once and again, that we are still the alpha gender.
That's right. Anyway, yeah. So I don't know how we got on that. What were we talking about?
We were talking about Terminator 2.
Okay, yeah. So good stuff. I like the movie too. I like. There's some great moments in the movie. Not necessarily levity, but certainly moments of. Like when
there's a little bits of levity.
Like
the Hasta La Vista
cigarette
baby
in his mouth with the psychiatrist when he sees the Terminator come through the thing.
Oh, it's good piece of humor.
Yes,
it is. It's a good joke because he thinks that she is bananas.
Yeah, since the first movie, he's been thinking she's bananas.
And
right.
he more than likely gave the assessment that took her from 5150 to permanently locked up.
Yes,
because he's on the payroll of the city. He's the city's psychiatrist or psychologist. My guess is psychiatrist. Yeah, when he turns and he looks and he sees him, like, I can't remember, T2000?
T1000.
T1000.
Yeah.
Just, and the effects are gorgeous.
Oh, they're amazing.
Just bleed. He just melts right through the bars and he can't. It's a great little, they made a rule and they stuck to the rule. Like,
yes.
Because of the mechanical parts of that's not part of him, so it stayed separate. And they adhered to it. They only set up a few rules and don't deviate from those. Yeah. But yeah, when he turns and sees that, and it's just, oh my God. Oh my, and then can you imagine that? A, being so blown away by seeing that, and then B, instantly making a connection to her and going, oh, is that the dude she was talking? Holy shit, that's the dude. Oh my God, that means what she said, and just going through the Rolodex of what he thought was bananas for 20 years or 15 years.
Yeah.
That's just got to be crazy when the patient has been proven sane.
That's right. Because it's such a crazy thing to believe.
Yes.
Right? It's so great.
It's like believing that the moon is hollow.
That's right.
It's a shit. It doesn't make sense. I'll still buy subterranean people before I buy moon base.
Shit.
Have you ever seen the economic cost of what it would take to make the Death Star?
No. What?
Someone broke down and did a rough calculation of it. I saw it like online on Reddit or something a year ago.
Is it $12 billion?
I'll find it. No, dude. It would take more resources than I believe the Earth could make. It's just the amount.
So you're saying it's not possible that the moon is a spaceship?
I mean, it would take the economy. The economy it would take to make the Death Star is unlike anything the world could conjure.
That's fair.
But, this is a galaxy far, far away, long time ago.
Yeah.
Yada, yada, yada. It's possible.
It's got time. What's also great about the film, dude, is it's the starkness of it all, the world that they're creating and her dreams. And then you bring back Arnold, and by this point, Arnold was becoming a lovable guy. So you twist the Terminator to not be
a villain.
A villain. You make him his friend and teaching him almost like I don't know what you call that. Almost like a pet. You're teaching the pet what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah,
and the kind of thing.
Well, trying to make him human.
Yes, trying to make him human. And they develop a friendship through the whole thing. And it's really great. But he still has the great battles. And Robert Patrick is incredible in this movie, man. And he's still menacing as hell when you go back and watch it. And I love that sequence when he's running after them, and then the arms turn into those hooks, and
he latches onto.
Yeah, that's fucking cool.
And the fact that once the hook gets broken, it stays with and still twitching.
Yes.
So part of him is still there. Weird, like horror element to that.
Yes, absolutely.
It's amazing how fast it looks. They made it look like he could run.
Yep.
At times in certain shots, it looked like the old reflective police shoes and the full belt. I'm sure, obviously it doesn't weigh as much as a normal police belt, but it still looked like it was clunky.
Yeah.
And to have, just so robotic in the running, you believed it 100% that he was that. Now the cops here in L.A., they get to choose their footwear.
Oh.
Years ago, you know that Chipotle on Ventura up in Sherman Oaks, or Studio City rather? It's right on the main drag when you're coming over Laurel Canyon.
Yes.
I stopped there once. I used to live like a block from there, up on the hillside. And I saw two cops in front of me, and I was like, hey, let me ask you something. I just asked about the shoes. Do they issue those, or do you guys get a choice? And he's like, it's as long as it's kind of
close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can wear something that's comfortable, but it still needs to be like tactical, so to speak.
Right.
Like it needs to be something rugged that you could be running, but you don't have to wear taps like shoes, It doesn't have to be your dress blues, for Christ's sakes. But it seemed like a lot of movies when I was a kid, the shoes are always like really shiny and nice, and I don't know how you run in those.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to watch him, man,
it's incredible.
Just take off after them.
Yeah.
Like when he's running, the car's going in reverse is the first time, and they're in that parking garage.
Yeah.
And him getting blown up close.
Yeah.
With that mortar gun, just so good. The effects are just amazing.
They really are.
For 92, just absolutely amazing.
And the Joe Morton sequence is incredible too.
Yeah.
That's so great.
All right, what do you got at 2?
What do I have at 2? It's a good question. I have The Fugitive at 2.
Oh, well, we do. I have that.
You have The Fugitive?
Yeah, I had it at 9.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I messed up. I'm sorry. That was a punt from earlier. Right.
It was.
That's right. So the punt from earlier. So The Fugitive is number 2. That is your number 9. So we did it. All right. So what a great film. Tommy Lee Jones, once again, fantastic. Harrison Ford carrying the movie, all the mystery of it all, and constantly alluding that, once again, this is a Chicago film. A lot of Chicago actors you see in Dark Knight, you see in this film, and all the stuff that he goes through. He's trying to prove himself. You know, you have, I think his name is Jaron Crabb is the villain. All the time, and Celia Ward is.
I don't remember the damn villain's name from that movie. Good for you.
I got to win Schmoedowns, man. Celia Ward is in this, of course, as his wife and everything, and it's based on a TV show. Once again, a film based on a TV show like Mission Impossible. Great stuff all the way through.
You know,
the
it's
mystery is
interesting.
great.
Well, the TV show, the lead in that was actually Leonard Nimoy. So there you go. It's a little full circle.
Stop it, you. But
Martin Landau was the one-armed man.
that's what he was. Well, you get the connection, like you said earlier, the idea of Connery and Nicolas Cage
Bond?
having a chemistry.
Oh, yeah.
So seeing chemistry with Tommy Lee Jones and Harrison Ford was really great too.
Yeah.
You know,
And the motivations are pure for
Yes.
both characters.
Yep.
Like, at no point do you fault Tommy Lee. You don't want him to catch him, but you don't look at him as a villain.
No.
Because he
He's
doesn't
doing his job.
understand. Yeah.
He's doing his job.
Just doing his job.
He's not doing it maliciously. He's not doing it malevolently. He's doing his job.
Mm-hmm.
You got Joey Pants up in this thing again. Really great. Daniel Roebuck's in this shit, the guy who played Jay Leno in that film. And you have this whole thing progress so believably because, like you said, Matt, you're kind of find yourself. It's an interesting film because you find yourself cheering for both people. And it's ironic because Andrew Davis directed this, who also did Under Siege. So it's the same director.
I did not know that.
Mm-hmm. Same director. So
Yeah, well, because a lot of times, like in a movie like this, the breadcrumbs to move the story along are, if they're convenient, then it kills the movie.
Yes.
Because it's just like, oh, happenstance. I just managed to stumble upon this clue that gave me everything I needed to know, whereas it seemed more logical progression in within The Fugitive.
Yeah.
Whereas like this everyday man for Harrison Ford could piece together and exonerate himself by this process. It's not like, you know, Bruce McClane by the fourth Die Hard, where he's Superman at that point.
Yeah.
Just like he's an everyday dude, just like Die Hard.
Yep.
Guy thrust into a situation. Same thing in The Fugitive.
Yeah, and those are the best ones, man.
They are. The more believable and realistic. That's why I think I know I prefer Indiana Jones over Han Solo. I could be Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
So that's more realistic to me. So it's always resonated just a little bit more. Even though Han Solo is the more fun character.
Yeah.
Because he's got a ship and can interstellar travel.
Yeah.
And like the adventure he gets into is just crazy. But I could be Indiana Jones.
Yeah. But yeah, so such a good film. I don't know what more you can say. Just a great action film all the way through. If you've seen it, you know what we're talking about. It's so much fun. If you haven't seen it, man, go rent this film and enjoy yourself. Like, find a way good. And it's enjoyable 2.5 hours. You have a great little cameo from Julianne Moore in this thing.
Yep.
Just a lot of fun. All right, so we're at the number 1. Jesus Christ.
The only choice.
I hope you got
The Matrix.
The Matrix. Oh, thank you, Jesus. I thought you were going to say something else.
We had no. We had a lot of this. I mean,
Yeah.
well, how many?
I don't know if we got to 6.
3, 4, 5,
I don't know if we got
6. We got 6.
Did we 6?
We got 6.
Nice.
So
Did we
should have bet
cover?
the under.
Should have bet the under.
Should have bet the under.
Damn.
6.5 was a good betting line. Look
you
at
should have
that.
known how Matt and I sometimes, you got to figure it out.
I figure there's going to be commonality on a couple are undeniable,
Yeah.
and then it's a matter of taste.
Yeah.
Like, people are going to be pissed that Total Recall isn't on this list.
No, yeah, I'm
And
sure.
that one is a rewatchability for me.
Yeah,
I
me
watch
too.
these others before I get to that one.
It's kind of cheesy, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I agree.
There's others.
But The Matrix is incredible. I mean, just incredible.
Pure 90s.
Yeah, right?
It's got the slick, like
leather.
black leather.
Yeah.
It has the aesthetic, especially the electronic music in the early parts of the bar.
You have the green hues
Uh-huh.
through the whole film, the green hues of what it was like, the computer like back then, because that's what it was. It was those black screens with the blinking green
Well, yeah, that's
cursor.
more a callback to earlier computer
Yes.
technology.
Yeah.
Because by that point, the back was that bluish white.
That's right. That's right.
So we hadn't seen a green in a long time. It's like the same time we also lost the dot matrix printer with the side piece that you had to pull off.
Yeah, that's right.
I love those printers.
That's right.
I hated taking those things off. At the same
Yeah.
time, I love taking the side things off.
Yeah.
Just
all
so
that
much
shit.
waste.
But this is Keanu, like you said, when you put him in the right movie, give and find the right role for him, he's really great, and he shines like crazy in this movie. He's so good in this movie.
He's undeniable.
Yeah.
And it's one of those you started a $1 billion franchise out of your ass.
Yeah.
The Wachowski brothers and now brother sister.
Right. Well, sister. They both made the change.
Oh.
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yes.
I thought it was just 1 and 1.
One went, then the other went. It's very strange, my friend.
Wow.
Yeah. Yes.
How did I miss the fact that the second one did it as well?
Well, because they're not really relevant anymore.
Do you think the second one read the first one's Yelp review and was like, I'm convinced? This doctor knows what he's doing. Look at that. That's a 5-star, but that's also a verified purchaser. Went to this location, checked in, gave a thorough, put a lot of time and thought into that. Wow.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Back to back.
Yeah.
Man, I had no idea. When did it happen?
Says
Like
right
last
here.
5 years?
This is right on Wikipedia. They're both women now. Lily Wachowski and Lana Wachowski. That's their names.
Oh, your
now.
windscreen's about to come off.
My what?
Lenny and Lana. Windscreen on the mic.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Lenny and Lana Wachowski.
What were their names before?
Lawrence Wachowski and Andrew Paul Wachowski. Both from Chicago, buddy boy. Hey.
Yeah.
Hey-ho.
Sure. Wow, I had no idea.
Yeah. I don't
Well,
know
ladies-
the change.
Ladies, you made an amazing action film.
You did. Ladies, that's right. Ladies, you did.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
2010 is when he made the change. 2016 is when
Okay.
the other one made the change.
Yeah, because
Fascinating.
the first brother was like a year or two before he made the full transition, had the operation. He was dressing like
Yes.
he had already, I believe, changed his name to her name now and made that public transition.
Yes.
And her brother at the time, now sister, was supportive.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really interesting.
Right. And they're both, one of them is married to a woman and has only married women. Even when he married a woman who was a man, with divorce, got married again to a woman as a woman.
Huh.
This is, man, why don't they do a movie about these two?
I have no idea.
It's very interesting. Anyway, the film is phenomenal.
Wow. Now I wonder if because they wrote this, if there's some sort of tie-in for the two of them, like the rebirth of the character of Neo as the one.
Yeah.
Is this their subconscious like coming through on something? Like
Maybe.
That's crazy because they both went through a
transition.
period of a loss of identity.
Yeah.
And feeling basically out of sorts in your own skin and not understanding who you think you really are.
Yeah.
And to end up, caterpillar into butterfly,
Yeah.
make the transition and become this beautiful thing now. Wow, that's
Like James Gumb from Sounds of...
sure. That's another person. And look, you may not like the transformation,
Yeah. That's what he's doing.
but he's making a transformation.
He is, yeah.
It's a scary one.
Well, and the thing with this also is, I think this is because they're into that kind of what do they call it, sadomasochism or whatever. They're into that with the leather stuff, whatever the leather is, whatever that kind of fetish is.
Yeah, it
They're
could be
into
S&M
fetish.
and
S&M.
bondage
Yeah,
and-
bondage, that kind of stuff.
Sure.
They were definitely into it, which is why there's so much of it in all three of the movies. But it certainly begins here with Trinity's outfit, with Neo's outfit.
I always
that
bought
kind
it
of thing.
as the constrictive nature of like society, like they're trying to put Keanu into
that's
his
good.
role and
Like deep.
whatnot.
Okay.
Yeah, so I always read it within, even when they come back to our world, that's still like representative of that. When they're here, it's like it's almost their battle armor.
Yeah.
Because if they go back to their world, it's just they're back to wife beaters and sweats.
Yeah, true. Such great action in this whole movie from the beginning, man. That opening scene with the truck, that fight with the cops at the beginning, the truck, and then like later on when they have the battle sequence, the fight sequences with him and Larry Fishburne, and the fight sequences in the train downstairs in the subway rather, and then of course the big fight sequence at the end. It's all of it's just so incredible, man.
Just the setup from the initial when the cops show up and they think that they have Carrie Ann Moss Trinity
Yes.
surrounded, and they're like, I think we can handle one little girl. And then the 360 camera technique that sells the action, like you 100% believe that she is moving in fast forward and they're in slow motion.
Yep.
It is incredible to think that all that, the stylistic choices and the ability to make those shots and do the cinematography did not exist until this movie.
Yeah.
Like it altered action movies thereafter. Like the bullet time shot, you saw it sometimes like, mocked, not really mocked, but like used for joke effect and whatnot
Yes.
because it became so pervasive. But you saw that slow down technique. Like without this movie, there is no Sherlock fight sequences.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. Later on, there is no, like, it had repercussions of you can show action in much different ways. It's interesting that slowing it down actually accentuated the speed of it.
Yeah, and I think the same choreographer who does the fight scenes here, all that is the same choreographer who did like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Yeah,
it's
I believe
kind of
it.
wire work and all that kind of jazz that had been known for. You see it throughout the movie. It's still a film that holds up.
Oh, it does.
Whenever I
That
catch it on
first one.
TV, I will watch it.
Yeah, the
absolutely.
first Matrix,
Yeah.
100% holds up. And the nice thing is, at this point, it will for me.
Yep.
Always.
Yep.
It's now been long enough, and I've seen it enough times to where it doesn't really falter.
Yeah.
At any given point, where it looks so ridiculously like watching Hackers. It's
Oh,
so
right.
ridiculously 90s to me.
Yeah.
Whereas this seems like, no, this is a culture that had been around computers long enough to do a movie that was not about computers, but about computers.
Yes.
And about society with computers. And
Well, the whole idea, like you said, about being restricted, like when his mouth can't open, all that kind of jazz is being stuck in a world where you're just punching the clock and you're doing whatever. And that's what, it's a very spiritual film or philosophical film, the idea of taking the blue pill and the red pill. Like, Luke, you can just stay in your life, clocking in, clocking out, doing what you need to do, eating your TV dinner, watching your TV, going right back to work the next morning, maybe hanging out with your friends on the weekend. You can keep doing your life. The Matrix shows you another world, the reality that's going on underneath your life, what you could achieve, the truth you can actually live if you want to take the pill. And some people, when they come close, like even when they seek spiritual enlightenment and they glimpse it, they run from it because it's too much of a deconstruction of their society and their world for them to grasp, and so they go back to just living the mundanity of their life because there's security in that. I know this world. The other world you're showing me scares the shit out of me.
Pantaleono's character.
Yeah, Joey Pants. He's like, fuck it. I want the steak.
Yeah, I don't care. I know that this steak isn't real,
Yep.
that you're just creating all of this, but I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
And you understand, I mean, as far as a villain, that's a villain that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because there would be inevitably somebody that regretted going down that path. They think they wanted enlightenment, and it turns out that enlightenment was not their cup of tea.
Yeah, because enlightenment, like most enlightenment, is removing all material possessions and making you part of a group to achieve an ultimate goal of goodness.
Well, I think it's also,
spirituality,
too,
rather.
sometimes it's akin to you never want to meet your heroes because it destroys the illusion.
Yeah.
Maybe he built up enlightenment to be the end-all, be-all, eternal happiness, a solve for all my problems type of thing. And it ended up that wasn't the case. That's not what this enlightenment was. It was just you need to actually take a step out, a step above and look at your existence from a higher plane and understand that you're in a terrible place. An inefficient battery field. It doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense.
I know. I think you're the one that told me that there's no way we could ever generate the electricity of our bodies, but
no,
that visual is still scary.
It is. It's sobering.
Yeah.
Like the first time you see it, you believe it. And you're like, oh my God, you could turn it into batteries. And then the more you think about it, and you're like, it seems really inefficient. Like, the amount of food that you'd have to generate to keep somebody alive versus the body temperature and heat that they give off. Unless you're somehow, when you're giving them the feeding tubes, maybe tapping into their electrical nervous system. But that seems like too little electrical energy as well. I don't know.
This is the film that created my fear of AI. This is the film that created this is the first film. I saw this film when I saw the visual of that robot thing walking through, crops of humans and farm. I fucking went insane in my mind. I just went insane because I was like, this could happen. Why couldn't this happen? This could absolutely happen.
Hypothetically, sure.
Stop it, dude.
The likelihood? I doubt it.
Yeah.
I doubt it. We'll probably kill ourselves long before then.
You think? Well, that's
Who knows?
certainly possible.
Who knows? I think, one of two things is either going to take us out.
Yeah.
An extinction level event.
Sure.
So, Halley's Comet coming our way, turns into an asteroid, adios muchachos. Or we destroy ourselves.
Yeah.
I think those are the only two.
Okay.
Who knows?
I don't know.
Who knows?
The AI scares the shit out of me.
Look, there's a reason, it's called the filtering problem within the universe.
Yeah.
Let's just say, because the universe itself has been around for X number of how many ever years it is, and I don't know what the number is. But given the context of things, we're relatively young as an Earth. Yeah. So as a society, you would assume that there would have been somebody before us. So how come there is no fingerprint left of any culture anywhere in the Milky Way, let alone the galaxies thereafter. Now, you could say the sheer number of light years it took to get here, maybe we missed the signal and whatnot. Sure. But at the same time, like, it leads you to only one of a few different potentials. And one is every civilization gets to a point where if it makes it to a certain size and it collapses in on itself.
Yeah.
That is one potential outcome. Or we're, the most unlikely is we're the only ones that have made it this far. That seems pretty unlikely.
I really don't believe that, yeah.
Yeah.
I will never believe that.
The universe existed for billions of years before this planet, so the likelihood of that seems pretty slim.
It's the natural arrogance of our species to think we are the only ones that...
Well, we're about to send a probe up to Mars to search for bacterial life.
Oh.
And if we find anywhere, to send it back.
No!
See, that's what the first comment I read was, have you never seen a movie kind of thing?
Yeah, I know.
Well, they say fossilized bacteria. I apologize. Fossilized. So if it's fossilized, it is long since dead.
Okay.
And I'm sure you could do something because you're passing through the vacuum of space for all that duration of time. So it's getting bombarded with cosmic radiation. So if you didn't have any shielding around it, unless it's one of those things called Terra guards or something, the tiny little microscopic thing that almost people call it like a space bear or something along those lines, that can live in the vacuum of space for a certain duration of time. And but I don't know if we could make it months of just getting bombarded and having no breathable atmosphere. I don't know, though. But
stop scaring me, man. Anyway,
it's fossilized.
Anyway, great film. Carrie Ann Moss, blah, blah, blah. Lawrence Fishburne, all the great stuff.
Yeah, anybody listening to this has seen The Matrix.
Seen it. All right, cool.
You've seen The Matrix.
Well, that's our list separately. Let's combine these lists here, Matt. Are you do the writing this time, or do I do this?
Yeah, I think I do the writing. I think I did the countdown and banging last time.
Right on.
All right, so one is done.
Certainly Matrix is number one.
And that means T2 is number 2.
Oh, nice. All right. So The Fugitive was my 2. It's your 9. What's your next one?
Is The Rock at 3, and that's your, what, 10?
10, yeah.
So that means then The Fugitive is next.
Okay.
Because your placement of 2 is higher than mine of 3, and then 9 versus 10, so...
It's a very good point you make, Matt. I appreciate you respecting the rules of the game.
No problem. All right, I got Point Break next.
Yeah?
At number 4, where do you have that?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
What do you have next?
Air Force One.
I don't have that.
Yeah. So certainly Point Break goes up then. Right?
Yeah.
Yep. Then we jump on to Speed. Or what do you have next? Right?
Speed, yeah. I get that at 6. Where do you have that?
5, yeah. So right now, Air Force One and Mission Impossible, you do not have.
I don't. Do you have Mission Impossible where? Pardon me, Air Force One?
Air Force One is 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, let's do Air Force One there and then Hunt for Red October next. That's my 5.
Okay, fine. That works. Where are we at when we do that?
That is 7 and 8.
Okay. So, you don't have Con Air.
Nope.
The Rock we already put on. You don't have Bad Boys.
Nope. Everything else now is
singles. Okay. So then my next one is Mission Impossible 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But what do you have next?
I got Leon next.
I want to make a change here.
Okay.
I want to put Con Air on this fucking list. So have we put The Rock on the list?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
it was much higher.
I will give you Leon at 9 if you give me Con Air at 10. Or would you prefer Mission Impossible at 10?
Well, it's your list. So if that's the hill you want to die on is Con Air.
There's a piece of me that really wants to die on Con Air. Just to piss off the fans.
It's your call. Go ahead.
Yeah, because what else will we put there? What do you have left?
Die Hard 2 and Under Siege, but I have Leon higher than those two. So
yeah. Under Siege. I mean Leon. He's already on.
Yeah.
So Under Siege.
So what do you want at 10?
Con Air.
You want Con Air?
Let's do it, yeah.
Con Air it is. It's officially written down.
Boom! All right, let's do it. The top 10 90s action movies, yeah.
Oh, Mike went down.
At number 10.
Con Air.
At number 9.
Leon the Professional.
At number 8.
The Hunt for Red October.
At number 7.
Air Force One.
At number 6.
Speed.
At number 5.
Point Break.
Numero 4.
The Rock.
Number 3,
The Fugitive.
The Deuce.
T2.
And the number 1 90s action movie is...
The Matrix.
That was my Matrix music cue there. Good stuff, man. This is a long episode. I thought it would be short, and it's a long one. I'm sorry, Matt. I know you've got a wife.
Yeah, a little bit.
You got a wife. You got a future child to go. I don't know.
No future children.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No future children.
Sorry, you got a whole house to go back to.
I got nephews and nieces for days, and that I am all excited about.
For days.
But no kids for me.
Good list, fun list. A lot of great movies on here. If you haven't revisited these movies in a while, go revisit them. Go have a little fun. Go enjoy your life. Watch this movie and make them enjoy your life and laugh.
Plenty of honorable mentions to choose from. So those of you that feel we robbed you of having your movie on, you're not wrong. It's just a matter of, honestly, action movie for me is just rewatchability.
Yeah.
On some level, it's like that is the primary thing that I'm going for because they're not asking me to, emotionally resonate with this character or whatnot.
Right.
Just here to have a good time.
Exactly.
So that is the show for this week.
Yeah.
Thank you so much to all of you that listen. We have some stuff in the hopper, so stay tuned. You can get all that information on our Facebook page, facebook.com/groups/the Top 10 Show, or you can get that from me on Twitter at Matt Knost, MATTKNOST, or on Instagram as well. And the thing that I brought up on Thunderdome, or not Thunderdomes, but Top 10s in the past is please, whenever we have a guest and you're on Twitter, after you have the guest, if you like them, let them know. For whatever reason you enjoyed them, please let them know, because the more you guys make your voices heard, the easier it is for us to get guests. So sometimes, unfortunately, like this week, our schedules couldn't align.
Yeah.
But, we've got a nice list of people that have all agreed to come on, so we just got to find the right weeks for them. We also have some people that you guys don't know, like we've had in the past, that we're going to keep reaching out to. But I did like that post on Facebook the other day where you guys said, hey, let's try and help out Matt and John and just give guest suggestions. Who would you like to see?
Yeah.
Trust me, some of those names you guys brought up are in the mix.
Yeah.
We just got to find the right topic for them.
Exactly.
But they've already said yes, they'd love to come on. So, we're working on it. But whenever we do, please just let them know that you'd enjoyed them on this show, and they classed the joint up. It was nice that they brought...
And all of them always reach back out to either Matt or I or both of us and say how much they enjoy the fans giving them love. Like Gray Drake.
Yeah, interaction.
Every time I talk to Gray since that episode, she said, your fans are so amazing. They're so loving. It's a nice breath of fresh air from other fans from other shows. So I take pride in that, dude, that we have fostered a fandom that is supportive, not dishonest.
So much so.
Supportive,
People that I haven't seen in a while.
Yeah.
Now that we've had, two of my friends on.
Yeah.
They went off and just like, whatever, grapevine. And like I saw a buddy of mine that I haven't seen in a while. He's been busy. I've been busy. I think he's been on the East Coast. And he's like, dude, I heard your podcast is doing amazing, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Just like, that's all thanks to you. The word of mouth amongst outside circles has been fantastic.
Yeah.
And because of you, we are going to grow. We're working on a couple things.
Yep.
Right now on the back burner, but we are going to make it happen. So just find us on Facebook, find us on Twitter, and where can they find you on those?
You find
I already did mine.
Okay, you find me at The Rocha Says on Twitter and Instagram. And remember, we have a Patreon for those of you who really support us and really want to support us rather financially and help us grow even more so. You can go there, www.patreon.com/the top 10. Multiple tiers for you to contribute, suggest topics. You can be part of the Thunderdome, all that stuff, be part of it. It's all great interactive fun. And like Matt said, we're coming up with more things where you guys can get some rewards from us as well for other things and contributions and whatever. So a lot of things are in motion. And hey, if you guys want to suggest some stuff, email us or maybe create a Facebook post where you say, what would you want from us as the top, John and Matt, what would you guys want from us for the money you're contributing to the show? Maybe it'll spark some kind of idea that works for us and some new avenue we hadn't thought of that you guys wanted, we didn't think you wanted.
I would say, that's a good discussion for Patreon.
Yeah.
But the problem is it's easier, I think, to catch our attention on Facebook and Twitter.
Yes, exactly.
Because Patreon, like, I don't have that on an app. I specifically have to go for it, whereas we have scheduled things that happen within those two domains over and over and over again. So we are on the Patreon, but just not not near as much, just, unfortunately, which I imagine we need to be better at. But we're trying. We're doing the best we can. But it's all thanks to you, so thank you so much. And that's it for me this week.
All right. Well, thanks, everybody, for listening, and we will talk to you all next week.